A couple of data points just coming through here this morning. Initial jobless claims to kick things off, 243,000. The consensus, 230,000, so a bit of an uptick. 2 weeks in a row here for initial jobless claims, continuing claims, 1.86 million. I'll get rid of these. We can see 1.855 was the expectation there on the week-over-week number for continuing claims. Philly Fed business, employment, and new order data coming through as well. A little bit higher than expected across the board for that. We'll get the Conference Board leading index coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. That is a June number. A little bit delayed, but negative 0.3% expected for that. That's about it. Some Feds speak coming up later this afternoon. Looks like we get Logan at 1:45. Fed's daily then after the close later on this afternoon as we look to bounce back a little bit after a pretty wild day yesterday. Individual names where the action is this morning. We're back to the upside for the NASDAQ specifically to the tune of about 0.6% currently. The S&P back higher as well. I mean, 0.2% right now, but tech leading so far this morning. Yeah, UNH, we were looking at it at the end of the day yesterday. Was super, super strong. All day yesterday. Some of the, you were talking about it before we came on, some of the Dow really, really leading the way yesterday where we saw continued weakness in some tech names. Absolutely, Brando. Good rotation yesterday, especially if you're invested in the overall market. Dow breaking 41,000 for the first time yesterday. UNH getting a bump. A lot of other good names in the Dow 30 getting a bump as well. Interesting stuff today, though. Chips trying to recover on the back of TSMC's report. They beat handedly. Well, I guess we'll talk about it more later on. But revenue up 41%. Income up 36%, so a big beat there, even though, Brando, the smartphone business still not really picking up. It's really AI still. Yeah, all about AI. I mean, there's multiple headlines this morning on that front we'll get into. Palantir back to the upside here this morning, about 0.5% right now. Positive analyst note this morning after 2 days in a row of negative on Palantir. There was also an upgrade on PayPal as well, I saw this morning. Not a lot of volume behind that so far yet, about 100,000 shares, but worth a note, downside right now. For PYPL, Sean spent the entire day staring at his phone, sitting in a chair in a courtroom yesterday, and he's back. Sean is back.
Hey. Yeah.
So there's no 12 Angry Men moment?
No, there was nothing really. They didn't, unfortunately, they didn't need any jurors yesterday, so I was just hanging out there for a couple minutes, and yeah, then dismissed, so. Well, but
they have free Wi-Fi?
I don't know. Probably.
No, I mean, that didn't matter. Everyone has so much data.
They don't. I wasn't even really on my phone that much. I was just trying to relax and just I was watching this market go up and down, and then mainly down yesterday. But we talked about. I mean, I guess we'll talk about, and I guess you guys did yesterday, the breadth in the market, because the Dow Jones goes high, makes all-time highs, 6 straight days on the DIA, the diamonds, the Dow Jones, and then now today the NASDAQ trying to rebound and looks like it just wants to go upside right here. So yeah, pretty excited. It's going to be good. We wound up seeing Despicable Me 4.
And?
Fine. I mean, I think it's just like all the other ones. I don't know. I thought it was fine.
Oh, okay.
I liked Inside Out better or whatever, or Inside, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Inside Out.
Yeah, so I felt like that was better, but it's fun.
I love Despicable Me.
Yeah, there's fun moments. Like you don't know what they're saying, and they do little funny little quirks like that. So yeah, I thought it was cute, but yeah, no, pretty predictable. You know, guy gets. You know, it doesn't matter about ruining it, but you know.
No,
it's like
the
go after the bad guy.
Exactly complicated.
Yeah, find the bad guy, have fun doing it. Yeah, it's just stuff like that.
No, I look forward to watching that. But look, the markets, there was 1 point yesterday. Obviously, there was a lot of opportunities, but it was right around. It was in the middle of the afternoon when, like, I wasn't looking at Palantir. It was all chips yesterday.
Yeah, how come that was so strong?
It was all chips in Palantir. Sorry, and Tesla for the most part, and then Intel was a big one for a lot of people in either direction.
29.
But Palantir, I didn't even notice how strong it was at the open to double dip to 29, but it was in the afternoon when it showed the 27.50. I was making the quib that Sean can say all he wants about doing his civic duty. Like, you weren't happy when it was right at lunchtime. It bounced right off of 27.25, but I didn't realize how strong it was at this 28.90, 29 area. So I feel like this could be spicy if it gets back into that range, specifically for Palantir. There's a lot to look at. Bad, Beyond Meat, Domino's Pizza. Good, pretty much everything is trying to make a relief rally. And just don't sleep. We don't usually trade things like UNH. They're not always in the pocket, or the Home Depots. of the world for a day trade, but my goodness, like the strength that was in those at in the morning was pretty spectacular. Like look at technically how Home Depot triple bottom and then a double top breakout that just went like $5 or $6. The volume's not going to be great there, but I think there's some opportunities out there. The EVs are always going to be in play. However, I mean that Trump China, anything China related is doing a little extra volume, so we got to keep it, keep that tight to the vest. With the exception of Neo, I looked up Neo's on the watch list. I got the Neo phone out.
Oh, the Neo. Okay.
No vol whatsoever.
1%, up 1% though.
It's up.
It's holding. Yeah. United Airlines bouncing around here. All right, Beyond Meat down 14%.
It was way worse aftermarket. There was basically no bid on Beyond Meat aftermarket. They were doing some restructuring on BYND.
Yeah. Convertible notes. All right. I want to look at AMD today, so we'll have a few things here. I don't get that much FOMO actually looking at the markets because you know what? I look at myself and I say, hey, maybe I would have been long. I don't know. So who knows? Might have saved myself some money. All right, let's go back to the desk and deal with today's trade.
Yeah, we were going to mention that Beyond Meat, on a debt restructuring note, downside in a big way this morning. Meta as well, coming off, 4 of 5 to the downside as well. Yesterday was really, really ugly for Meta, trying to bounce here this morning, back above 470 right now. It was Financial Times first to report this, that they were kicking the tires, I guess, for lack of a better term, on EssilorLuxottica. It's the owner of Ray-Ban, so sunglass maker. I thought they already had glasses that you got those, didn't you?
I did, but I returned them because they weren't working.
They were terrible?
So, yeah, no. I didn't say that, Brendo.
I'll say that.
Actually, my friend has them, and he walks. Okay, I put the story on the midday. I'll say it quickly here. He walked around the club, Brendo, recording, and they have a light that turns on when they're recording. It was a little cringe. I gotta tell you, I told him to stay away from me a little bit. Yeah. But no, in all seriousness, though, they obviously use Ray-Ban to make the Meta glasses, so it kind of makes sense here that they're.
They might further this tie-up, anyways. But guys, Meta again, possibly kicking the tires on Ray-Ban owner EssilorLuxottica. So maybe Facebook glasses in general to come.
Facebook, what's that?
If you're gonna wear like augmented glasses, then you're going to you want to look good in them. So I don't know. There's logic. There's a logic there. But I'm stink bidding. Well, in my personal account, I'm stink bidding Meta. After yesterday, I was like, oh, what are some things that if things get really out of hand could possibly come in the next week if you go to the downside? I was like, well, Meta, pretty clear support right there in like the 430s. So you stick something in there. I put it.
30. Oh yeah, 430.
I'm like the least creative person ever. My favorite number, like my baseball number, was 42. So I stunk bid 442.22 because I also like Will Clark. So 442.22. I always put like 22. Never bid an even number. Yeah. It's like 22, 42,
it's ultimately it's not going to matter. Right?
I find it amusing.
Something you put bids in for. I do that all the time.
But it broke a trend that was huge. Like right here, this year-long trend for Meta. I don't see any way that we're getting down to $440 today. I'll probably have that good for like a month or so. Actually, I might probably made it good for a quarter on my personal account. But look, if you're going to come right back up to what was the top of the trend line or what was the bottom of the trend line and it turns into the top, that would be like the 75, 76. I think when this happens and you break a wedge like that, anything above there into 80 might turn into a bit of a fade. So I'm kind of thinking, like, there's a lot of rebound type plays. AMD's SSR today, short sell restricted. So I got to be thinking breakout or dip and rip or something along those lines. But Meta, if it gets to that 480, just because of that trend line, I would probably be first looking for a fade type of play. Was a little surprised at how weak it was, but a trend that big and that holds that long, if it comes back to retest it the other side, I usually want to have some kind of a trade if it sets up.
Yeah, I mean, when just a couple of days ago we were short Meta up here at 530, and remember we took $19 or something, and then it wound up going like breaking through 500, and then it's just I feel like the writing's been on the wall for this name for a minute. I mean, it's just like forget about yesterday. Yesterday was just a huge day because you broke through the 50-period moving average and just kept on going. But the thing is you've already had like that's if we zoom in. I mean, yesterday wasn't even the worst or close. Like that's bad. Like as percentage points, you're up here at 540. So to lose $30 on that day is bad, and then you lose another 10 or 15 there. But remember this: this is, we were just talking about it, this is also a Trump trade because apparently, he's not as negative right now on disbanding TikTok and all that stuff. So if that talk gets a little bit abated, then I could see, he's back. Then I could see, this continuing to fall down. And yeah, I think he will get that 430. I mean, the last time I sold Meta was right here on earnings, remember? And then it fell down. I was like, yeah, good. We made a good call. And then we didn't get any out. So maybe, or any back in. So this time we may be able to buy a little bit more back in if it does drop into these levels that we had missed last time. So I'll have to check. I don't think we sold any Meta. I mean, some of the names that we've sold, we've talked about. So yeah, but not any Meta. It looks like that might have been a mistake. So we'll see what winds up happening here. But yeah, I mean, I like the stock. I just, you're going to have a couple bad days. And
it happens.
With IWM ripping up and the rate environment coming through. Maybe the first rate cut isn't necessarily the greatest sign for the market, but we'll see.
Usually,
looks like there's going to be 3 this year, so lots to go. I like
that
Amazon.
jobs
I like
number.
Amazon.
That jobs number makes it even more likely.
Yeah, that was. What did that come in as? What was it?
It was 243, a little bit more expected.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, jobless claims 243. I'm pretty sure 240,000. We were expecting 228 or something like that. That's just going to add a little more fuel to the fire. Get that cut that the market wants. Meta is actually
1.7%.
As we've talked, it's up another almost.
Nasdaq is going. So like the thing is, like yesterday we're like, oh my God, it's such a bad day. But then you come in today, and let's see what happens. I turned the bear into a bull there a little bit. Let's just see what winds up happening today. But you're already back. I mean, we could open up back up 1%, and then you've made back 40% of yesterday. You never know. I don't think you're going to be up 3% today, though. So, all right, let's go back over. Yeah, do we have Luis today? He's in the calendar. Could be. Right.
Maybe.
Potentially.
He takes the summers off, I feel.
Yeah, lucky guy.
I was just hearing, guys, Wall Street Journal now reporting that Meta story for Ray-Ban parent could be 5%. So definitely not the entire company, but potentially 5% of the Ray-Ban owners. So not a huge deal. I was going to mention a couple in the retail space here. There's analyst notes on Foot Locker this morning that I was reading. Morgan Stanley with a downgrade to underweight from equal weight. That's coming from the Fly GPS as well. With a positive move, Morgan Stanley upgrading to overweight from equal weight on Gap.
Yeah, interesting look here with retail. Kind of unsurprised about this as a consumer does get squeezed. All credit card debt all-time high. This headline though with Foot Locker surprised me a little bit because we saw with the Nike earnings last time that they were relying less on their direct-to-consumer kind of model and going to go back into their wholesaler, Dick's Sporting Goods, Foot Locker. So I expected Foot Locker to benefit a little bit from that, but it looks like it's still a tough hill battle for them.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we had some airlines with earnings this morning. They're not really doing a heck of a lot. Alaska, I was just hearing some comments coming through. Weak Q3 profit for this one as well. United Airlines gapping to the upside, though, back to 48. So again, not a heck of a lot of volume, but both moving around here a little bit.
Yeah, it's quite the reversal for UAL. It was a guidance miss last night, and
they actually did really well.
Pretty much what everything else was good, except for that guide. It bounced right off of support. This is what we were pointing out. It's like, well, if you're inclined and you like the airlines, I don't. I've never invested in the airlines. In my personal account, I've never really been a huge fan. I think there's a better place to put your money. But 44 on a dime, it essentially bounced off of that. And when I say on a dime, it was actually 5 cents away from 44 even. And now you potentially break out. I don't know how much volume actually got trapped down there after market, but you could be breaking a trend, specifically on UAL. Like that 44 wasn't nothing. It was a 200-period moving average. So if this were to break out above 48, there would be some room for it to rally. So it was solid numbers. Nothing groundbreaking there. But there was this SYTA. Just want to quickly point this one out. Seattle Mobile. Hopefully I'm saying that one right.
You are.
Seattle Mobile just made a push towards $1. Small cap. I saw the news a second ago. I'll have to double check to make sure what the news is. I don't want to get it wrong for you guys. But it's about the dollar level for this. You can see it's your typical chart of a low float, small cap runner. They've done a reverse split, so it's an even smaller float than previous. and it's got this nice consolidation break going on. But the dollar, it's at 95 cents right now. So the dollar level probably going to be a bit of an issue. As you can see, it already pulled back there once, like a 110. Now it needs to break through the dollar again. The good news is if it does make a run at the open, it usually gets pretty simple. When it puts in a 110 high, I usually like a 110 break with a $1 stop. And that kind of makes things relatively simple. So this one just popped on the radar. I don't think it made our watch list because it's a bit of a late move in terms of volume through that $1 level.
I was just going to say about United Air, and it's the same thing I always talk about every time we have something like this pop up. And I always look to this Jets ETF here because it just has everything in it. So unless you're individually investing in the airlines, I feel like this has been, quite the roller coaster. And right now you're kind of in the middle. So I would look for a break here of $20. That's the 50-period moving average, right? I mean, it basically, once we broke it here to the upside, that was 16.25. We went to 21. I mean, again, the airlines aren't going to be tech names. They aren't going to blast up 100%. But it basically held it the whole time. You did get a little dump off there in the last earnings in April, and then it regained it. Nice upside move, broke it, and now it hit, it's hitting again. So take advantage potentially of UAL. If you didn't really like the quarter, although it was getting bumped up, maybe that's a sign of things to come, and you can go short here underneath 20. But the reason why we bring this up again, airline's going to be in focus, and if you like the space, I think you can go long on a 50-period break above 20, or if you're still short, I like the short better. I like the short underneath this to make a retracement back into some past support. 1750 looks pretty good all the way back to last year, and again earlier on this year. So yeah, I think I like the short in the Jets ETF, and let's just see what happens if UAL helps that case or not today.
We're just reading about Ford here ditching plans. So they had announced plans to convert the Oakville, Ontario plant here in Canada to an EV facility by 2025, 2026. They're going to backtrack on that. And then instead, I was just reading, upgrade it to have capacity for 100,000 super and heavy duty trucks out of that facility.
Yeah, they wanted to do it in Kentucky and Ohio, but they're overextended there. So they're going to invest $3 billion in Oakville, which, by the way, guys, is like basically in Toronto. It's going to create about 1,800 new jobs there, about 150 jobs at the Windsor plant. So good luck. And really, it's about selling what the customer wants, and it's pickup trucks. That's what they sell the most of, Brendo. And they're looking to focus on that.
Yeah. Ford, if anyone was wondering, lost $4.7 billion on its EV business in 2023. So good choice for Ford. Bitcoin, I just saw a couple of crypto names moving here as well, starting to get going back higher. Held 64 at the end of the day, 64,000 at the end of the day yesterday, back to almost 65 here today.
Yes, sir.
So Ford lost $4.7 billion, making it the second most profitable EV company in the United States.
Ford is crushing it right now, by the way, the chart.
Yeah. I mean, we hit that dunk thing, but I think that might be right. But anyways, there goes Ford, right up to the upside. Wow. I mean, yeah. As a shareholder, it's been great. Have not gotten anything out of this one because really, quite frankly, maybe I should because I don't understand. I mean, it's a nice move upside. I am seeing more and more Broncos out there. I talked about the F-150 Lightning, and again, it's an electrified, their best vehicle. And it's apparently been a success. I don't know. I only hear good things about it. But again, we don't have, maybe all you guys out there in Texas and all whatnot. I don't know, wherever there's a lot of, I don't know where Ford sells the most trucks. Maybe it's Michigan. I don't know. But anyways, nice move to the upside there for Ford. I like the stock, and I think you stay long. I don't. It's hard to sell winners. I think you could get some off, but at the end of the day, you're breaking out, and you've already done that. So you broke out through 1360. Now I think it's worth holding. If we zoom this out, like way out, Ford can get to 16, 17. There it is. So $16, $17. That was the top that I'm sort of looking at. So if we can get into that area, that's what I was looking at. This huge move up, remember, like we had a big, huge, Rivian's coming to market and all that kind of stuff. Ford got really excited there before obviously this happened, and we've seen what's happened to Rivian stock as well. As Rivian was $108 IPO, I think, and now it's $18 or $19. So I like Ford. I like what they're doing here. And if EVs aren't as hot anymore in the market, which, more look to hybrid, maybe Ford has a good little spot here that, you know, you're breaking out. I like this stock up to 16, 17.
I'm probably selling. Well, actually, no. I have an order to sell in front of 15. At least the half of what I have left in Ford. Just going to take it. GM's been performing really, really well, but the really good thing about Ford, yay, now it zooms out there. The really good thing about Ford is if you look at like when this is sort of tagged in here back in August of 2022, like you're breaking out of the consolidation channel. So I'm talking about from when it made the bottom that's been holding, that 11 bottom that everyone's excited about and was such a good buy. It's essentially breaking out of that channel. I don't wonder if it runs out of steam at that 15 level. But you talk about EVs that may or may not make money to one that certainly does not make money. Rivian yesterday, like it's been the same top up here on Rivian for the last week. Like it breaks 18, doesn't get to 19, and then if that happens, the sell is pretty precipitous. So the last couple of times, it was a strong rally, and then you fail that level, you go all the way from 18.5 to $17. You get a recovery day, you go from 18.5 to $17. The market's trying to bounce here. If Rivian can't go, this could be a bit of a flat bottom break here underneath 17. About 16.95 was that low, and not a lot of volume going on with Rivian. If it rallies, could it happen again that it goes through 18 and you just fade like 30s, 40s, and 50s, or find something up here for a short trade? Sure, you'd have to be very, very patient, because that's a long way away. But I got the eyeballs on the same two EV names as every single day for the last couple of weeks, Tesla and Rivian. And it's pretty much those two. Rivian, that 17 level, at some point, if you keep pressing it like this, you're not going to bounce every single time. And if it breaks, I just want to take a shot at it. Let's go see what the analysts think of a few names with Adara.
Lots of interesting names on the docket here, starting off with Block, reporting the week after next, getting this upgrade from William Blair ahead of those earnings. Toast getting an upgrade from Mizuho, trading up about 3 1/3% in the pre-market. Fortinet getting an upgrade from TD Cowen, and TKO getting an upgrade here from Redbird Atlantic. On the downgrade side, starting off with CrowdStrike, trading a bit lower here after this downgrade from Redbird Atlantic. Morgan Stanley, as discussed earlier in the big desk here, giving this downgrade to Foot Locker. We have PayPal getting this downgrade from William Blair. They also report the week after next. So William Blair having some opinions here on these payment names with SQ and PYPL. Last but not least, Barclays downgrading Molson Coors. Quite a few interesting names on the list here, guys.
Wow, Block actually is.
Block is nice.
That's pretty interesting.
The block is hot.
The block is hot.
Block is hot.
Yeah, 74 could be a bit of a thing here for Block on the daily chart. Clear resistance, started a downward trend after consolidating there for about a month. Then you find all kinds of support at 62. I mean, sometimes you don't have to. We talked about this with last night with Chris Brecher. Like, why try to find a bottom when a stock falls down? You get the rounded face in there. I don't know that I can draw this Stewie thing with this tool, but you get the rounded face into a breakout. Now you're at that resistance spot at 74. So I think that's pretty clear. If you're a block trader, then 74 is what has to go for continuation. It's an obvious resistance spot, so you got to chew through that. The volume on an upgrade, not really done enough to push it through right now. Like 72,000 shares worth of volume is a problem. Like there's so much that's actually moving. Like NVIDIA is going to be at 10 million shares done before the open. So Block, yeah, it looks good. I think certainly if it closes above 74, look for some continuation going into earnings. But it's only the volume that would have me not interested in that for a breakout. Like you saw what happened to like AMD and NVIDIA and Tesla yesterday. If they don't move today, then I don't mind. Then so what? If they don't move today and there's no opportunities in the stocks that were the biggest movers yesterday, then I can live with that. But Block looks okay here at that 74. On another day, if it was doing good relative volume, I probably would look for a breakout. But there is no relative volume here.
Okay. I mean, I like Square. Square is a name. Block is a name that I own, as well as PayPal. So one on one side, one on the other. We can look at PayPal, probably do a decent amount of volume. It's trying to break underneath the 50 period. So watch out for that. But, you know, when I see a name that I always look for those lists, and I always try to think about when Adara's talking about them, what are, if any, names that I consider, you know, close to best of breed, or names that, you know, we want to get involved with, especially when they're on the downgrade side. So today, CrowdStrike in what is an up market is going to be down 1.2%, right? So this name has already broke the 50-period moving average. This is a name that I've never been into. I only own PanW in the space. I was thinking about some ETFs actually, but anyways, nice move down in here for security, right? And again, with what we've seen, unfortunately, over the weekend, and then now it looks like, you know, Republicans might win that ticket in November. I just think security could get heightened, man. I mean, there's going to be some international talks and possibly troubles, and who knows where we're going with all of this. And then big data is only getting bigger, definitely not getting smaller, right? So, yeah, it's all going to need to be protected. CrowdStrike had a couple bad stories. I think there was a couple data breaches. Wasn't there one with Snowflake or something like that? I don't know if that was crowd related or not, or just Snowflake independently, but I know there's been a couple things here. So let's not go on those stories as I'm not sure, but breaking through the 50-period moving average, I like CrowdStrike down here. I think you can even start to nibble now. Yeah, that's CRWD. That's what I'm thinking about. So CrowdStrike adding some or getting into some for the long term.
One more just to put in your back pocket for this morning. Block, SQ with an upgrade this morning as well. Not a lot of volume here, but William Blair upgrading Block this morning to outperform. This thing's back to 73 quietly as well. Again, not a lot of volume, but analyst note on SQ as well. All right, let's get a look at the overall market here to kick things off at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 56.39, guys. That's where we closed off. That same level that we talked about, the area that we defended on the 11th and on the 12th of July, we come back into that area after that big decline on the ES yesterday, but we hold it and we're right back above those levels now. In fact, we're above the 50-point area. So if we continue to trend this way, let's see what we do at possibly 5,700 to the downside. Let's see if we can break or defend that 56 and a third, Brendo.
A lot to get through this morning. If you haven't done so, go down to the description of this video right now. Hit the link to the watch list, enter your email address, and then you get it delivered right to your inbox every single day. Has everything you need to know every morning for free. I was just checking here. There's TSM, there's AMD, there's NVDA, Intel as well. 2+% across the board here for chip makers this morning, coming off what was, yeah, that's Coinbase. We'll get rid of that. 2+% across the board coming off what yesterday, I mean, 2 days in a row to the downside. NVIDIA specifically, pretty ugly all day long. Ends the day basically at session lows. We started to bounce in the aftermarket here. Nothing real significant as far as news on these, but they have been hit pretty hard here the past few days.
I thought AMD was going to go short sale restricted yesterday. We were really close to that 10%, 9 and change, I think, at the lows. So Taiwan Semiconductor, the world's largest foundry, reported overnight. Their earnings, they did quite well. These are new Taiwanese dollars I'm going to give you. So 673 billion new Taiwanese dollars, earns about 20 billion US. That's revenue. Their net profit, which is income, 247 million Taiwanese dollars. So revenue up 40.1%. Net income up 36.3%. The key drivers are obviously surging demand for their AI chips, as well as the perfection of the 3 and 5 nanometer technology. And the fact they're going to start making 2 nanometer next year, they're saying. And last but not least, obviously AI, Brendo, and that's really driving the chips demand here.
Yeah, very active here this morning as well. I was just noting 10 million shares already for NVIDIA. TSM already at 3 million plus. So due for a bounce potentially here for this group.
Damn, AMD is SSR.
TSM already went like $6, and AMD did get SSR. It was like right in the last minute or two there at the end of the day. So TSM's already made a pretty significant and hefty bounce. Okay, I'm missing some data on my TSM chart, but manages to hold on to the trend at least temporarily. I won't bother drawing a trend line for you. You can kind of see that it's making that bounce. Because AMD is doing lots of RVol, well, NVIDIA is doing the most volume, but AMD doing pretty good volume as well. Yesterday went from short NVIDIA to short AMD because AMD was weaker at the moment, but it was the 165. Everything fell apart at $170. I mean, it is what it is. Like 170 lost at the open, and then the first available consolidation was right here at $165. Then you had that key support level at 163 on AMD. When a stock is SSR, a lot of times you're looking for that, it's like recovery relief type bounce play. Now there's a few ways that can play. If it doesn't hold this range, which is 63 to 65, I think you can see downside to that 160, which would put that even dollar for an SSR bounce. If it simply breaks out past the 165 level, Howard, that was the big resistance level. I think that's where you get a little bit of a like squeeze relief rally on AMD. This is the one that I only want to look for the longs in because it's SSR. If there's a pop and fade, it would be looking for NVIDIA, where I thought maybe we'd get it on a strong move yesterday. So we ended up shorting in front of pre-market highs on NVIDIA at the open, but the breakout through the, if it breaks out through the top, I think AMD is probably going to go too. I'd rather have that one, but if it gets into this previous close 2 days ago, that 127, NVIDIA is one where that's a big support into resistance at 127. If it sniffs that price, it would have to be one heck of a rally, and I'd be looking fade up there around 127 on NVIDIA. So I'm favoring longs AMD because it's SSR, so if there's a break higher, it's that I'd have instead of NVIDIA. But if we see 127 on NVIDIA, we're gonna like that short. And I feel like it's the kind of level like Tesla yesterday at 258. Well, you might not have thought you were gonna get there when you're sitting at 9 o'clock, but it got there pretty quickly at the open, and NVIDIA is certainly capable of making a $4 or $5 rally at the open.
Hit the like and subscribe.
Oh.
Is that what he was saying? There it is. Yeah, okay. I just heard it in my ear there. I want to quickly talk about the sticky note is now out, and I have on here for a semi play. I like the fact that AMD is SSR. So we did look at that. I like the SSR bounce possibility. So right into here. So I have AMD 167 short sell, right? So I think like it's going to have this bounce back up today. And if it does, I want to look at a short for advanced micro devices. I mean, just coming into play here, 167, that's where the 50-period moving average is. I mean, again, wasn't here yesterday, but you could see quite a violent drop. We did get a small little bounce, right? Like, and it's funny because I have such random thoughts sometimes. Like, I just sent a couple paragraphs to Michael Noss in the last 2 minutes because I'd thought about something that I want to have, and that was another scanner, and I'll talk about that once the show goes. But anyways, I really think this little level right there, let's test it. So if we do get that bounce back up, and look, I'm bullish. It's the only name that I have short on the list today is going to be AMD, but I think it's worth trying at this level. All right, I mean, the semi names, great bounce back, up 2.5%. So you make back 25% of what you lost yesterday. That's all good, but there's still movements to come, right? And I still think there's some downside pressures. We'll see. These dark pools wicking up here to 168, 169. Some of you look at that. I've seen it in the chat, but I like this 167. I mean, even yesterday, right? Like the VWAP was just holding. And if you look the first time you got an opportunity, 168, then again at 167, then the break happens and you don't get it again. So right now we're going to be above VWAP pretty good. I feel like if you can get to 167, you're way extended from it. And hey, if NVIDIA is not going, which it probably will be, then we're going to short AMD. So I'd rather short the weaker name, Advanced Micro Devices. I saw SMH yesterday as well. This is a name that I've been trading a lot. Not a lot. I switched over to the TQs and SPXL, I think is the one I like. But anyways, this name, again, only up 2.27%. So again, another kind of level for SMH looking at this 266 level. So, a couple opportunities to go short. I think I want to start short the semis just because of how dramatic it was yesterday. So we'll wait, though. Play the bump up on the SSR. That's why I'm choosing AMD. I just wonder if it can get falsified up because you can't sell, right? And so let's just wait to see what happens here with AMD. You can sell if you're long.
All right, debt restructuring, as we mentioned, for Beyond Meat comes out after the close yesterday. This thing got absolutely crushed down to $4. That did actually trade. I was sitting here watching it. We recover a lot of that back to $6 this morning, trying to hold right now just above 622, but not a good look here. I mean, the headlines for the most part going back, I don't know, a year on this company have not been positive.
No, and you set me up perfectly for that, guys. All right, so this one's dropped 71%. Lost 71% of its value since it IPO'd back in 2019. That isn't the look that you want to see. And it's also reported 16 consecutive negative quarters now. That, to me, doesn't really yell a loud endorsement. The decline really is attributed to lower demand, obviously, for plant-based food, as well as persistent inflation keeping some of those stuff high.
And it's still way more expensive than actual meat.
And I don't like the way it tastes.
Yeah.
Is it way more expensive than actual meat?
I mean, it's not way more.
Actual meat.
Is it?
Is it?
Well,
Yeah.
I haven't bought it, and we tried it when it came out. I haven't.
I only say that because like when you go to restaurants and stuff like that, it's pretty much the same. So I'm just wondering why they don't mark that up.
Yeah, that's silly. Why they? Well, yeah, I don't know why they don't mark it up either.
I don't know, but
it was nasty after market, by the way.
It was never meant to succeed, I don't think.
I'm of the belief that eventually there will be a point that some kind of like synthetic, there will be an alternative when if they can make it as nutritious, within a stone's throw of that, as nutritious, as cheap, and then tasting the same. Like, you get to that point, you're going to convert a lot of people, but let's not pretend that they're there, right? So it might not be these guys. I think at this point it's pretty likely, but it was so much worse in the aftermarket. This becomes a tricky one because I'm not really much of a believer here, but it was a massive, massive like quadunk and then recovery, oddly enough, to only be down 13%. And I say only because I came in I was thinking maybe you could have a Cassava Sciences moment and these guys are down 30 points, but that's not the case. So I was looking at what's the most simple would be previous support into resistance. If it tries to pop into 650, 660, look for a fade in that range. It's going to open short sell restricted as well. And the volume is not that great in it. The reason I'm thinking short here and not just, hey, look at that rally, look at the recovery, is it did that meme move 2 days ago, which probably got a lot of people long, and then it held out some support yesterday. So I feel like there's a lot of people long the last 2 days in here that unless this gets back above 7 to 720, they're out of the money. So I'm looking for some kind of a fade in there just based on that thesis. A lot of people are probably into this thing, I would think, assuming there'd be a continuation squeeze because it's a huge short flow, 38% last we had checked. So if there is a pop in here and fade at the open, I'd be looking short on Beyond Meat. And I just remembered, hey, let's go get some locates on there because we'll be paying 1/8 of 1 cent is my guess.
I didn't have the picture of what my son had. Yesterday we went up to see Despicable Me 4, and we were up there in lovely Woodbridge, and we went to Vivo here, and I had the wife and I split this. This has potato on it with pancetta right there. Oh, there, you could sort of see my kid there. He's got the prosciutto. I mean, this guy, come on, my kid is, my Stream Deck's not on. Oh, well, he's not messing around. But anyways, this was really, really good. And the guy there's from Rome, and it was amazing, honestly. So shout out to Vivo there up on Highway 7. Anyways, great day we had yesterday. Went to see the movie, went out for some dinner. It was so delicious. Yeah. And then my daughter had fettuccine Alfredo, and that was good too. She didn't eat it all, thank God. So I was able to have some.
Because you wanted to have it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so look, I heard when we came on, I switched over this bear into a bull, and I heard Sharif go, yes, Katina, man. That's right when we started the show. So right now, the futures are up 40 handles since we turned over this guy. I'm not going to turn him around again. We're not going to jinx it. But we've had this bullish sort of feeling here coming back into today. I was just looking at Palantir again because, starting to go back up to the upside. Man, I like the stock. I don't know if you guys know that, but there goes Palantir starting to go back up upside. So I just put a bid down here. It's not going to hit. It's right down here at 27.60, a little bit ahead of this because if we get that trip, then wow. But anyways, this is going to be another name that's on my mind. Look, Neil just went over all the levels on Beyond Meat. I think you trade it because it's a short float. Other than that, the comment that I said that was never really meant to succeed, it was rolled out here at Tim Hortons, failed. McDonald's tried it. I think A&W tried it. And they came out with so many products. The Beyond fake sausage, turkey. It was just not, they couldn't get it going. And right now you're right at these tipping points again of $6. So unfortunately, I think that the short float may win on this one as it continues to go down. And they're probably looking for a savior somewhere, right? And maybe they can find it. If there's a white knight somewhere, going to come in and buy this name. But I don't know. Beyond Meat for me is not really a trade down here. I'd rather wait and pick on something else. I like McDonald's just because we were just mentioning that in the fast food space. Downside here near good lows. McDonald's down 13-14% doesn't happen too often. You already had a nice little dip buy opportunity here at 250. Maybe McDonald's gets back down there.
All right, let's touch on Google. You saw they're moving back through 182.5 right now in a hurry. Nothing significant as far as news on this. We had a positive note from Mizuho yesterday. 1.5% after a pretty ugly day for this one yesterday, too.
Yeah, Truist also chiming in on Google today. Yusuf Sakali from there basically reiterating the buy rating on Google, keeping the price or boosting the price target, I should say, from 181 to 222. Separately, there was another headline here, not really a big deal, but Google is being investigated in Italy. The Italian Competition Authority investigating it for unfair commercial practices, basically saying the user consent process for linking Google's various services is misleading and can cause potential harm to some of the users. So we'll see.
Yeah, don't look now because all of these, or a few of them anyways, coming next week. Google Tuesday for earnings next week. Huge week to come.
We always talk about the big, you get into earnings season, you have 2 massive weeks that come in where all the big names are going to roll out. Then you wait a little bit to get NVIDIA at the tail end of earnings season. So Alphabet is a big one. The reason, like, Alphabet didn't make my note today, like the focus, NVIDIA, AMD, Tesla, Rivian, Beyond Meat, like those are the names that I'm more focused on. It was mostly because I wasn't certain that, like, the 180 bottom, it seems pretty obvious. Like, it was a previous high into support. It's already, and then it bounced there yesterday. So yeah, Google 180 long, sure, but it's already trending. It was in the middle of the range here. It's already trending to the upside. I mean, if it can get through like this 183 half level, there could be a trend up that would be a nice one to join if that would be the case. But since it's already made this bounce off 180 and you're so tight to that resistance at 183.50, I would have to play that by ear. So as I said, we'll talk about Tesla in a second, but I like Google. I love the fact that it bounced so far where you'd want it to, like in front of the 50 period, right at that 180 level. But unless we get a retest of 180, I don't see myself trading Alphabet unless it's joining trend after the opening range, which I'm always open to. Like, you at 10 o'clock hits and a name like that is, putting in higher highs, higher lows, and you can find something like a VWAP or Trace or just a continuation of trend that's tradable, don't mind jumping into it. But as far as an obvious level, it's just the 180.
Shout out here to Den Shenko here. He says, Sean, you got to teach us how you come up with these sticky note ideas. Yeah, told you, watch us on tradertv.live is how I come up with them. And then I look at some different levels and I say, hey, I like that level. But no, 180, 150. So let's go over it right now. 50 period moving average, right? Long. So here's Google. I like it. It's a name that's on the list here. We talk about this every single day, how I try to come up with some of these names and some of these levels. So thank you so much. I retweeted that. But right down into here, right? Yesterday's close, 181. We had a problem with 181.50 yesterday. I feel like that could be an area right into here that if we dip in, I want to buy this level because, again, I feel, are we breaking 180? So why not if this can come up? Now, again, it's not a whole lot of volume. There's been other charts that look a little bit better right now, and Google's not up as much as the others. And we did have that little bit of a negative story there with the Italian government. I don't have to speak to them, see what's going on there. But 181.50, just want to look at it, right? It was a bouncing level there. I'm not sure he's sitting here. That's why it's sort of on the top. It's on my radar today for Google. Again, I like the stock, the 50-period moving average on the daily. See, so this is why we write it down. That's 178. So I feel like, yeah, it wants to bounce off 180. It's not as dramatic of a pullback as all the other names. If there's going to be a long in mega cap tech, I feel like we could pick something up on Google. That's not a semi name, right? I mean, those names are already up 3 or 4%. So we've seen Meta felt, and we've already talked about this today, but Meta feels a little bit sick, right? I mean, broke through the 50-period moving average. You're going to get bigger bounces on these names because they've been so depressed. But, Google, again, up 1%. Feel like if we dip down, take that long. So watch out for Google today. And I trade GOGGL, just more volume and a stock that I've always been looking at. So this is the one that I'll trade. You could trade both of them, just different classes over there. Oh, I brought my coffee back there, and I did not. You did not refill it. No, because I was going to get it, and I was going to get a water, and I forgot to get.
Sure, Randy will be by.
I'm going to holler at Randy again.
It's Tesla, so he'll probably pop his head in.
Yeah, Tesla. Okay, good. I'll mention Randy right now.
Swinging.
Yeah, let's touch on Tesla here. 251 right now on a bounce as well. This had a huge move higher initially yesterday morning before giving it all back and then some. There was this note on solar that just came out when we came on this morning. Tesla going to supply gigantic power packs for storage for solar coming through for 2030. So didn't really move on that, but worth a note, trying to hold 251.
Yeah, they also had a bit of a tougher headline here in Europe. Looks like their sales declined a little bit there. It says Tesla sales in Europe and the United Kingdom dropped 15% year over year to about 78,000 vehicles. That's for Q2. There's a market share for electric vehicles also dropped a little bit in Europe from 18% to 15.5%. Essentially higher interest rates, increasing competition being cited, and an aging model lineup. Brendo, they need new cars.
Yeah, Toyota specifically was being mentioned there as far as taking some of that away from Tesla. Ford also downside over in Europe.
So yeah, with Tesla, it was two numbers yesterday: 258, 246, and sometimes it's really obvious where you might find support and resistance. And yesterday was kind of an example of that. Go back 3 days. Big level, 58. It was looking like that was going to be a big hold, and then you broke down at that price. So the following day, failure at the open, then the top at the close. Yesterday's short was at the 258 level, and then the bottom was just the same 246 bottom that it made. So I don't think it's all that complicated. Like when we sat here, we're at the same price at this time yesterday. I was like, if it goes up, you just got to wait for it to get to 258. Now I was looking for fades because we were bearish yesterday, and that really meant you just had to sit there and do nothing while the stock was climbing higher and higher, unless you were looking for a breakout. And I'm not really looking breakout on Tesla today. I'm really thinking it's just a 258 level. If we dip back down in and you show any kind of a bounce off 246, that's a trade that you want to have. So trying to keep it simple. It's 1% to the upside. The other thing that I am looking at is also going to be Rivian in the space. Rivian has not made the kind of bounce. Percentage-wise, yes, Rivian and Tesla are close, 1%, 0.7%. When you look at the two charts, similar in terms of support and resistance, like making a bottom, getting back into the top, failing the top, but you're still pretty tight to this low. So if this doesn't hold on to 1695, to me, this is a potential breakdown on Rivian. It's seemingly rejecting this top up here. And if it cannot hold this support at 17, there's a big gap to be filled. Like, this is the kind of trade where you can risk 10 to 15 cents. If it goes, it could easily move $1. If it doesn't go, you got to get out, and then back through 1730, it could be a relief rally long. But flat bottom break like that, we'll have it the first time through.
So we're going to give a shout out here to one of our sponsors, Benzinga, the Benzinga Pro platform. And this is surprising to me. I'm sure it's going to surprise both gentlemen on the desk. The Tesla Cybertruck outsells the F-150 and the Rivian R1T, despite being more expensive in the month of May. So that's surprising to me right there. So there it is, man. Over almost 4,000 Cybertrucks in May, as opposed to only 2,300 F-150s and 1,200. So you add those up. You add those up, and you're not even at Cybertruck, which apparently was a fail. So let's wait to see what happens here with Tesla. But again, another good story, I feel like, for Tesla. But I wrote down again 250 to look at. But that's going to come into play immediately. And again, 250, 200 period moving average was right there. Now that I look at where we are with Tesla, I'm almost thinking, yeah, it's probably a short more than a long. I mean, this up here near 255, 254, looking pretty good there. But yeah, you cannot ignore this 246 level. So I know I do have Tesla on the sticky note. It's the last note there. I want to make sure to look at it. I'm wondering about yesterday's closing price. I know Sharif always talks about closing prices, and I think that that's something that we're going to have to see where that trades tomorrow or today based on yesterday's close, because that might be a good long. Hold it against 246. If you go long at 248 and you have this bottom, please just plan appropriately and take as many shares that you can hold for $2, because like this, the move that you could get way upside is way more than $2. So I just feel like that's a decent risk spot there for Tesla. On that surprising Cybertruck news, maybe I haven't been following it well enough, but there it goes. I like that style of truck with the F-150, but I would not have expected that right there. So I'm glad to have sort of brought that out, and there it is. So more fodder there to think about.
Yeah, I think everyone would be surprised by that. Oh, there's some people that like the Cybertruck.
Yeah,
I think it's a little funky looking, but like all new things, I think people probably just have to adjust to some change. Before we go back to the desk and talk a little bit of crypto, there are some. I just saw in the chat, some talk about the weed names, which we haven't always mentioned, and they've been really strong the last few days. So very quickly, CGC it's on radar if it can get above $8 here. It's been what is it, 5, 6, maybe more than that, maybe 7 or 8 days in a row to the upside, with a few of them pretty outsized in here. And you're now at another level of resistance here. 4.5%. We've seen this do double digits before. I just want the area of caution, I would say, is when it's broken through. There's been some good breakout trades here at about 670. It broke out, actually held the highs. When it made the next break after consolidation at 750, it got to $8. I would suspect that you see the pullbacks, right? It either doesn't continue after breaking or does a pullback. So if it does break 8, I think you got to have yourself a target and not expect it to just continue to go, because it hasn't been that kind of a trade recently. It also could be a consolidation trade today, which would be fine, because you consolidate today under 8, put another higher low in, and then go tomorrow. That actually gives you more explosive upside when you consolidate in front. But CGC, we got them on the radar, just not the front of the mind when these chips and the EV names have been so good.
All right, slight bounce here for crypto, as we mentioned. If you joined us early on this morning, here's IBIT. 0.65, we were mentioning yesterday the inflows this week back to multi-week, multi-month highs here across the board for these ETFs. We are pulling back a little bit. I mean, there's nothing significant. The big move coming a few days back on that Ethereum note that we could get Ethereum ETFs here in the next week or so.
Yeah, that's going to be really bullish for the ETH fans. With respect to the spot ETFs, that's 9 consecutive days of inflows now, Brendo. So good positive result there. Mara, Riot, CleanSpark, Hut, the miners essentially were up, not yesterday, the day prior, up big. Mara breaking through a key technical level. They're set to report August 1st. And an interesting article I actually read today, I discussed it with Neil. A lot of these digital miners are now actually getting into the AI business, Brendo, because they've got all these GPUs that they're not really looking to use anymore for mining, and they're trying to repurpose them for AI. So it's going to be interesting to see if they
they can rent them out just for processing power at this point. That'd be a good business. Here's the, just real quick, here's the dollar on a weekly chart. Worth noting here, working on 3 in a row. This is, again, a weekly chart, working on 3 in a row to the downside for the dollar benefiting here as well.
Yeah, we were just looking at Tesla there. Did you know that the Tesla Cybertruck outsold the F-150 Lightning and the Rivian R1T by large amounts?
Okay, but they had, 180 some odd thousand back orders? Like,
isn't that a lot, or?
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Did you? I didn't know the Cybertruck was actually selling that well. Is it selling more than they expected,
the order
or less? Or?
Book, I need a coffee. The order book back in April was 181. There was a lot.
That's a good
number. They're catching up. So good for them. The Lightnings had, how many issues? Recalls, problems, production issues.
Lightning? I've seen more of them around now.
They're out there, but
I see a lot.
There were so many problems with getting that out the door in volume. And Tesla had an order book to fill. The reservations were huge. So, I mean, take the money and run.
Yeah. No, I think what's interesting is, if you don't notice, we were pointing out, Sharif was pointing out some of the differences with the lights on the Lightning and the F-150. And if you don't pay attention to them, you're like, whatever, there's none of these on the road. And then if you actually make the distinction between the two, I'm just like, there's a couple in my neighborhood that I didn't realize were Lightning.
There's a LED light strip right across the tailgate, and there's no tailpipe, so they're pretty easy to spot.
Yeah. There's a guy down the street from me that has one, and I didn't even realize it. But I think it's a bit surprising, as Sean mentioned, that the Cybertruck's doing that well. Congratulations to them, let's just say. And Randy's such a good dude. He says he needs a coffee. He's brought us 2 before he gets his own coffee.
That's how we roll.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, he's had more than his own coffee today, I'm sure.
That almond milk, though? No.
You guys are going to be drinking this almond milk in 2027.
Right. Brendo, you got that. This almond, that Earth's Own.
Yeah, it's Earth's Own now as opposed to Silk.
40 cases of it, apparently.
So, 48 cases times 12.
It's, no.
Yeah, so we'll address that in the next couple of years as we run out of that. I think the expiry is still a ways away, so we got to wait for that.
Can somebody please send us almond milk?
We literally have somebody that does that job. So we just have to tell her we do not prefer it.
I don't use it, so I'm fine.
Bitcoin. So yeah, Bitcoin, huge drop that we've all saw over the last week or so. But yeah, guess what? As if it didn't even happen, to be honest with you. You get down into this 53, 54. I wonder if Bitcoin's like the best technical thing around. I mean, it comes back in and it comes right into this level that we'd all talked about forever and ever and ever, and then just bounced right back up again. But now, are you going to hold 70 or not? I mean, I feel like that's the next little level to get through. We just kind of bounced around and took out 60,000, and now we're trying to hover above 64. We've been getting into 63.5. This is just a daily chart. We go over here to 15 minutes. You know, it's trying to hold right now. That bottom, it's 925. We'll see if there's any imbalances. 62, 63 right there looks like a decent spot to dip by if you are day trading something for crypto. But I don't know if that's going to be coming through today or not. I mean, crypto looks like it wants to go higher. We'll look at IBIT and the Ethereum ETF as well. I have them down here, 64.8 and 35 base, 34.7 right there. All right, so NVIDIA hit has a buy. No surprise there. I feel like there is some strength, obviously, in the NASDAQ, so let's watch out for them. Intel, of course, another Trump trade. We talked about why that was working recently. Apple right there as a sell, and then AMD. So Apple with the sell. I mean, I'll zoom in a little bit. It's not affecting these stocks too much. So, and then the other one was AMD. Let's just have a quick look at what that's doing. So that's a buy, and you do get a little shoot up there. I'm still waiting at 167 for that short. So that's, those are my trades there. TSLA, that's going to be a levered Tesla product down below 14 or near $14. That's getting hit on that. Was that a sell? No, that's a buy. Yeah, so no Tesla on here, but TSLA a buy. So that's something to look at. Warner Brothers, there was some news there today with them, up 5%. So that's a little bit of a sell the news situation. It looks like early as they get all sorted out there with their takeovers. And then TSM, we talked about them early with, again, are they saving the space here or not? I mean, it looks like with a good quarter, Taiwan Semi right there gapped up on that buy imbalance as well. So, hey, could be some good excitement here. Let's see if Taiwan can get back up to 185. Still a couple minutes to go.
Still a couple minutes. I always feel like it's NVIDIA that in AMD we want to go to. So TSM, while on earnings, we'll use it as maybe a bit of a barometer. But hey, man, if you like the show, make sure you like the show. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We got 3 minutes to go in here. I know everyone loves Bitcoin and wants it to break 65,000. Well, not everybody, but most people do. But if we don't break 65,000 and there is a rejection, I want to go over to like Mara. Mara was a trade. It could have been a trade. I outlined it. And like I said, we stuck with basically chip names and EVs yesterday for the most part. And it broke that 25 and did not break through second level. It's just each of these even dollars that are key. It was big resistance at 23 even on Mara. If I zoom up far enough, you can kind of see that there. I go back farther and you'd still see it. And then the next day after breaking it, or the same day after breaking it, held 24. The next day held 24. You dipped under 25, which was the next key level, and it came into this zone and then did not break lower and came back out to the upside. So that's the way that I want to play Mara. If it wants to dip, okay, dip through 25. If you hold 24, look for the break back above 25 and then the consolidation for that little jaunt. If it does the same thing downside through 24 and doesn't break 23, look for it to break back above 24, show consolidation above, and then take the retracement trade. Sometimes that's in the afternoon. So that's going to be the play for Mara, which requires some patience. NVIDIA, you see this one now 3% to the upside. Stranger things have happened. If we see the close of yesterday, not yesterday, 2 days ago, this 127 from Tuesday, it was actually 26 change, but this 127 area from Tuesday, I think that's the resistance spot. If it's able to get up there, it was such a big level in the other direction, was holding support for a while at that 127. You know, there it is, there it is, there it is. If we get back there, I got to think that's a fade on NVIDIA. It's a big if, not a guarantee. And then that 117 is getting further and further away in the rearview mirror, where you got that bounce. I can go further back and show you it bounced off that same price a few weeks ago. Big level. Barry asking for levels on HUT. I don't actually trade HUT 8. So with Mara, if you're just watching Mara every single day, you kind of know the levels. But something like HUT 8, I think it would speak for itself. Like I pull up this 15-minute chart, 19.5. What I don't like is, yeah, you got a pretty big gap underneath that. And I don't know how this reacts to, does it wick this gap and try to come back in? If you fail 65,000, that almost looks like it would just be a flat bottom break. And then the key price here would just be, look at that top, look at that close, clearly broke down. Once it got back above this 17.5, it rallied. Key price would be about $17.50, somewhere in there. That's too far away. So we got to be focused on the SSR bounce play, which is already coming in on AMD. If that breaks out 65, it could really fly. And it would be NVIDIA that I'm kind of looking to fade on a pop there. Tesla 258 like yesterday, 246 is your support. But Adara, let's get this Thursday started in 2 and 1. Ring it.
All right, we're now open. Let's see if we do get that NASDAQ rebound today or not. As it started off pretty good, up 0.7 right now as we watch AMD, as that's just dancing around a little bit and going lower right now, fading off of that 164 top. We wanted the AMD short, but unfortunately didn't have it early. We were waiting for that pop up due to SSR, but here it comes back in. We knew we wanted to get that one short, but we weren't so certain on NVIDIA. That also trying to fade off of its pre-market high of 122 as well. Looking a little stronger than AMD, as there goes AMD. Just hit 162 right there and bounced $1 off of that level. Oh, wow. Apple is starting to go down now too. Just broke 230. Apple looking like the one that's heading lower there. Look at the futures starting to go lower, man. Darn it. All right, so the only trade that we were looking short was AMD, and that looks to be right. But, I mean, all tech names right now, I'm assuming downside. I don't know if you're in anything. Tesla,
no,
250. No, so that was a
Nothing
good one.
there.
We wrote down Tesla 250. Let's put a bid down there now that we've seen it sort of hold. Again, it's early days. Let's not think that this early days, 9:31. Let's not wait to that. I even wrote down here, patient today, please, at the very top. And then there I go, putting a bid in at 9:31. All right, let's wait to see now if we do get that Tesla little bump through the 200 period. If we get it, we can get out if it breaks like 250, 249.50, something like that, give about $1. NVIDIA is trying to go up. Yeah, you guys are right about that.
Yeah, NVIDIA is making that move up, but it's nowhere near the resistance spot that we're looking at just yet. Tesla, again, you said absolutely nothing. Rivian making some moves. I just pulled up Meta because that pressed not even near that 480. It's 476. It's going to. Just thought we'd get a bigger range in there. Beyond Meat, we were thinking pop and fade. We got to be a little bit cautious with this one, as it is a short sell restriction. SSR name, but it's got a 38% short float. So 38% short float and going to the upside. Got to be a little bit cautious with Beyond Meat here. Want to short the pop, but I'd like to see it start to fade before we just jump into it.
All right. We said we'd get out at 249.50 if it broke down. So we have two positions right now. We have Palantir and we have Tesla. So right now we're in Tesla at 250.25s. So we're going to give this about $1 worth of room. So let's see if we get back up to 251, and we'll try to ring some of the register on this one. Remember what I said, like, if you're going to give this one $1, you're going to try to make a little bit more than that. But Tesla hasn't been that great here today so far. All right, so here comes Palantir. Look, so it's early to take this trade based on technicals or anything like that, but I'm taking this based on this 50-period moving average right here. On the 200 on the 20-minute chart. I like that, generally speaking. I can look back sometimes and be like, why didn't we take it off that? And then we have the 200 down here at 28. So I'm going to take Palantir, try to be in this name as long as we can, and hold it off of that level. It's a good trade. It's a big position for me. And there it is right now. It's your first dollar club. I hope there were some dollar clubs yesterday because that was a crazy one. There was probably $10 clubs. But there it goes. Tesla, nice move back up to the upside right there. But again, failing off of VWAP. So let's try to give this some space. And, you know, the reason why I talked about yesterday is if volatility was there yesterday, potentially same here today as the NASDAQ just made that nice move up there. All right, so there it is, man. There is Palantir. Big trade alert for me on PLTR. We just got to get it out. Nice take so far there at 37. We'll try to take out some more. There it is through the 40s. Big trade here on PLTR. It's already been a good day so far.
Yeah, so far only into one name. It was pop and fade on Beyond Meat in here. It got to that 660 level. We grabbed short underneath 650. It's trying to break back down below that 630 as we're starting to heat up in AMD. Still have my eyeballs on that one. There's just not much going on. I expected AMD down 10% was going to have some kind of a push. that you would have some kind of a breakout and we could short some NVIDIA on that move. Looks like AMD might test that 160 after all. So it's SSR. I'm looking for a bounce play on that. And NVIDIA, if it's not going to actually break, maybe it's the same thing as yesterday. If it's not going to break out, it could just be the same fade we had yesterday off 122. So I should just go right back to that well.
Yeah, I like those trades right there. We're going to go big time movements right here. Bang, 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 bang. As there goes Palantir right now into the 40s. So we like that one. We just took $1 and change again on Tesla right there. We got that price, guys. We got 251.30s right there. So that is your official first one right there for that. So we'll take it. But we're making just as much money right now on Palantir because we had, 4 or 5 times the size, of course, on a Palantir than we did on Tesla. So let's wait to see here as this $28 name continues to go. We like the AMD short fade. So if we can get an opportunity to do that, we probably should. And there it is. We did have an opportunity as it did come right back into VWAP right there. That's generally speaking a trade that I like with AMD. But all right, let's go back over and see what Adair is up to.
Do that UAL, of course. That was earnings from last night. That one making moves. Another earnings name, though, on watch here reporting this morning is Infosys. INFY. This one getting a nice volume pop, up about 10% here, reporting inline EPS, but a sales beat for the first quarter of their fiscal 2025. Also announcing higher than expected fiscal 2025 revenue growth for the year. So as a guidance point there, so good look for INFY, guys.
Sharif, wow, Tesla's almost $3 in money. He goes 250. I go sticky note long, 250. I mean, it just that's why we do that. Thank you. I appreciate all the nice talks there on socials about how do you find these levels. I think we did a little bit of work there and brought some of those up to you. So again, we're still holding 40%. Could be a loser. Who knows on this one? But it's a nice trade so far for that. So we'll have to try to keep on working it out, man. I mean, I'm now waiting for 44s up here on Palantir. We'll see if we can get a little bit more out. But hey, man, I really like this stock as well today, Palantir. So let's see if we can get going on some rebounds. I'm still trying to find some shorts, and I think AMD is getting close to setting me up for that trade. It's keeps going, man. I like to get up here, 162 and change, where VWAP is. That would be a good short to start with for me, anyways, on advanced micro devices.
Yeah, I just tried to grab NVIDIA through 122. It's continuing lower, so we're going to have to play the patience game here. You just dropped. We tried to get the same trade as yesterday on the way back down, but pretty much nothing doing. I'm not going to chase it. 120 is going to loom. I expect you find a bounce there. It was about 1 million shares on the bid at 120 when it first tested yesterday, and you got a bounce, and then you could fade into it for an eventual break. So if history can just repeat itself, I think we get a crack at NVIDIA in here. There was nothing over there on Rivian. I thought Rivian, maybe we'd get that early break, 17 or 16.95. Nothing doing just yet for Rivian, and we forgot to go over Intel. That's my bad. 35.50. Remember yesterday, 35.50, afternoon 35.50, breakout morning 35.50, 35.50 under, short, over, don't fight the short. I'll keep it as simple as possible. But I know we got questions about this one. Trump stock and all that good stuff, but 35.50 would be the key level. If I can't get NVIDIA to short the pop, I might take a shot at this one.
All right, we're at our day's high right now. Tesla is trying to go, but it's very, very volatile. I don't like these wicks is really sending my net like back and forth here. I'm going to put one at 250, 250, 250, 240. I was waiting for higher, but it just keeps on doing that. I'm at 250, 261, and it just missed. Like we weren't there. We were just there right now, and it went to 48s. So we got to get back there. So now it's back down $1 again. So yeah, it is starting to make me a little nervous about some of these plays, and Palantir is just hovering here. So again, it'll be a good day when you're going 2 for 2, and we're trying to put on some risk here. It should be good. So far so good there, but we do need to get out of that PLTR. Hopefully on that upside. Quick check on Mara right now, as that's been a name that's been recently pushing. We had that long at $23. We marked it down and didn't take it when it broke 23 that day, and I was like, what? It went to 24.50. But right now Mara is pulling back in. I was just looking at a 50 period right there. Coming in to play at 25.50. We already broke below. Feel like a break back above 25.75 maybe for that one to go could be something that you're looking at there for Mara. on a break. Yes, sir. There it goes. Oh my, right there. Yes, sir. It's Palantir, man. This will be a big stock. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully we have a stock that's bigger P&L than this one for me today, but right now this is rocking. There goes Palantir, baby. We hit this one. We knew we liked this one. There it is. It's Palantir. We saw the strength in it yesterday, and Brennan gave us that upgrade or whatever the news was there today. I liked it. On the radar again. There goes Palantir. It's 40 cents. It's upside for PLTR. Fade City, though, for Tesla, that's not going up. That's going down. So watch out here for that break. Look where our break is. If we break through 249.50, we are out of Tesla. That trade is already in. Let's go, man. Now 40 cents on Palantir. Oh, wow. What a big trade Palantir was here today. We'll take another piece out there at 62. So good little look there. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day just with these two trades.
Yeah, great look, Palantir. I got to be a bit careful here. If you're watching IWM, that is breaking out in a big way. But that 250 level on Tesla, I don't know if I want to short a breakdown of 250, but I have the eyeballs, as I said, on Rivian. If that does make a break, I want to be short this name. I might just take it off of VWAP here, but I got the eyeballs on Tesla. If Tesla starts ripping, then we wait for the high. Tesla starts tanking, I'll short the lower high here on Rivian. Still nothing doing in NVIDIA. I'm going to cancel 122 because we're at 120.5 and just start looking for maybe a VWAP retracement. We already missed that one short. Do not want to chase. I remember this is pretty much where it sat yesterday, and then about a minute or two later, Tesla 258 came into play for us. So just got to stay patient. It might be 35.50 on Intel. Beyond Meat at 47, I'm at 48. So that's pretty much not doing anything, which for a squeeze name isn't what you always want to see. Like usually I'm expecting it's kind of to break it out, or we should be falling down here. So it's going to be a tight stop. If it's not doing anything, then I don't think I want to risk it too big here on Beyond Meat. So just going to tighten the stop up a little bit here. Hut was not a 1650 flat break, Barry. I think when I pull up Hut and we got the question about that, it was 1950 was the support level from yesterday. I have my eyes on Mara, but it was 1950. If it loses that, that's where you see the big gap.
All right.
All right, here comes that 250.
Yeah, we, shoot. It'll be a trophy day here early, but we missed AMD. I mean, that was one of the better shorts. We were looking at it right here, too. And I was getting greedy waiting for this 162, honestly, and it's just like, it just fell back in. And now it could get going. I don't know. I mean, now it's starting to go up with the futures going down, so that's going to be pause for concern, obviously, as we look at that. We are now out of the math we have about 15% or so left of Palantir. Tesla is still in the pocket for me, that back down here into 250. But again, I'm not averaging into this. Not taking any more. We've already taken this trade. It's already been a good one. If it breaks lower, it breaks lower. I'm not chasing this one. Generally speaking, what I've done in the past is like sit here and say, oh, I like this level. But I liked it early to see if it had a chance to go. Now it's not going. So we'll sit up here. We've screwed that up by not getting out there. And hopefully we'll have better risk management or outs if it does go. Here's Palantir. I'm just going to talk about names that I'm in, right? I mean, here's Palantir right now, fading back down. So I know a lot of you will take the similar trades. We punched out of that when it got into the 60s there. No real reason. I mean, I think we could still go higher. Just that was a great move. Happened in one candle. So here's a pretty good pushback right now for PLTR. So we'll take some more down here at this reloaded level. I like the stock. I like the name. But again, back out at a 28 break. Could go sideways. So let's wait to see what happens here with PLTR. Again, good trading today. I had no problems whatsoever. Just could have got out more on that Tesla bump up. And to still be holding 10 to 15% of Palantir, I can't do much better than that. Being able to get out up there on the pre-market highs. So that's kind of a trade that I look for. I think we have Ryan Floon on later on today. You asked me about Roblox last time. So we got some out yesterday when we hit that 40.50 it was into here right off the open yesterday. So I got the notification that we got filled something. We were only long at 34. Remember, we even mentioned that last week that this was the spot that we were looking to get out at. And so we took some out. I do want to reload this name.
Tanking.
Yeah, is it? Okay. Nothing's really in too much danger for me. So what short do you have on there? Nothing's really. What do you like short? I like AMD.
120 just broke on NVIDIA. In there, I just got Rivian just came in. I said, look, if we lose 250 on Tesla, that I would short the pop over there in Rivian. But 120 just went on NVIDIA as well. So we might see that 117 after all. Let's go over to Rivian. I said if we broke 250 on Tesla, we'd short into that bottom there on Rivian. We still have Beyond Meat. That's pretty much doing absolutely nothing. But I did take a swing on that break of NVIDIA and didn't get the fill. I wasn't sitting there for an order, but when it broke through and came back, I tried to grab it the second time. We want to short pops in NVIDIA. We're not going to get VWAP anymore. Don't want to chase it too far, but you're now really starting to flush in here. If 17 goes on Rivian, that'll be like a separate trade for me. Just want to respect what Tesla's doing over here. Tesla 246.
Yep.
It was two numbers. It was 58 and 46.
Really going.
246 is the level down here for Tesla. If we get that, that was a long 2 days in a row. So if it loses the third day, it loses the third day.
Yep.
Let's just keep it simple when it comes to that. But I'm going to be there for 246 Tesla one way or another. Dara, what's up?
Keep an eye on Silo Pharma here, SILO. This one strong to the upside, pretty strong volume as well. Announcing alongside Riskia some updates with their plan for this nose-to-brain drug delivery. So intranasal delivery for PTSD treatment. So that announcement sending SILO to the upside. Float of about 3.4 million shares, 1.8% short float, guys.
Hey.
SMCI. No, darn it, man. This short was... The AMD is going to bug me the most because we talked about getting that pop early on AMD because of SSR, and that's like exactly what wound up happening. And then the market opened, and it was just like, boom, right there to the downside. I mean, AMD was up that, I don't know, was it 3% or something at the highs, maybe 2.7%. All right, so we did a very, very tricky little thing there. Okay, I don't know. We took 48s there. We got some out. We got some out at 48.60s, but here it goes, a break lower, and that's enough for me until we get to that level. So, all right, so there goes Tesla right now, about flat on the name now on TSLA. Not a great job on that reload, but I'm still fine with it. Again, we talked about that 246. If that's going to be a level to look at, guess what? It's coming in.
It's coming in there.
You might want to start taking it along now if you like it. I mean, I don't know how far we're going to go from here, but here comes 246 coming in on Tesla. I'm just getting some of my orders set up now.
So I got Rivian 15s, scalped some out on the way to 17, but then 17 broke, so I took the short underneath there. So we're out of the 17, 15 short. We're into a short on a 17 break. I hope that makes sense. And now we're seeing this one continue to go into the downside. I'm going to get to SMCI. I know I mentioned a level and a channel yesterday that is potentially breaking right now on SMCI. So $800, it's trying to bounce off this. Let's go quickly to the daily chart. There is your trend. The break of trend has already happened and it wicked it, but an 800 break and SMCI would be nasty. Just keep in mind SMCI is getting added to the NASDAQ 100 tomorrow. All right, so that could be a positive for it.
Yeah, for sure, it could be. There's a positive right now for Teslas. We're long now, 248 again. We got right back in. It's now $1 back to the upside. As we said, we were negative on it. That's not true anymore. As it goes back up, stay with your stocks for sure. And you know when we talk about staying with your stocks? Let's go. Look what Palantir just did. You know, it gave us an opportunity to reload it there. We didn't. Like the way that market was falling, and I was just sitting there watching Tesla continue to get murked to the downside. But look at Palantir all the way back. And again, big time trade alert for me there on Palantir. So we came in, we took the trade, we liked the trade, and we talk about, what the strategies are when you like trades, and that is that you take them. So right there, 28.50, 28.60, nice upside move. We did get some out on the way back up when we got the 50 period, but now you're right back to highs. Let's hold on to this one, and here we go. We liked 250 before. We're long now. Let's get our money back right now on Tesla. Those who taketh, we taketh back, hopefully. But it might miss right now. We just waited for 249.50 there. We were waiting at 249.56. Oh, oops, I just canceled all my lower offers now because I hit escape all. All right, we just missed that opportunity right there. So, yeah, man, Tesla giveth and taketh, and it looks like it's taking right now. Let's see if we go one more little bump up and we get our piece out there. Now $1 and change. Good day so far here today. We've only traded 2 names, and they have been pretty successful. DraftKings moving around. I know you're in Beyond Meat. That was a good runner there the last couple days. DraftKings right now, flat on the day. Came across a scanner. I have no idea which one. Maybe it was a VWAP one, but not good enough for me right now.
Yeah, so a couple of things. One, SSR bounce on AMD. off of $160, but also the 120 level came back in here on NVIDIA. So AMD bounced off 160. It's making higher lows at the 50 level right now. So it's a bit of a difference because I'm actually, it's weird, I know, but 120 short NVIDIA and then SSR bounced long on AMD. Not something I expected would happen simultaneously, but I'm kind of preferring this bounce play because it was that gimmick 160 on AM Dizzle. I'll get over to Beyond Meat. That's starting to move into the upside, but 119 comes in again. I want to take that buck on NVIDIA. I have my stop at that local high in here, just above the 120. And then to go over to AMD. AMD bounced 160. We got in. We were able to reload. I haven't even gotten any fills. There we go. It just hit 161, so now we got some fills there, up at 161. Let's see if we can't get into VWAP here. 161.50 is VWAP on advanced micro devices. Now you can see a little bit better. We get a press into that, and we'll take it all out. But Beyond Meat's still doing absolutely nothing. I'm a little surprised by that. But just because the stock has a big short float doesn't mean it has to move. That's a rule. You can want GameStops and all these things to go ham, but if the movement's in the chips, the movement's in the chips. And then that's where you have to be. So looking for this quarters next on advanced micro devices. I think it was the right call to maybe scalp aggressively out of NVIDIA and favor that bounce play in AMD.
Guys, there's a $2 winner right now on Tesla. We don't have any red names here. We're going to go 2 for 2 today. Tesla, Palantir, both sticky no names, both there. We missed AMD, which was the biggest one, and we're going to be at. If we just exit our trades now, we're at the highest spot we've been at all day. So again, it's too bad that we gave this one only 50 cents, of a hit there on Tesla, because there it goes. And again, if you're going to risk 50 cents and then you put on the board $3, then is that not worth subscribing? Hit that subscription immediately. We're here. I'm here every day except for yesterday. So there's a nice move back up again right there to 251 and change. We'll see how far this one wants to go. Neil, it's a $3 winner right now on Tesla. So let's see if that one can come in. And it's a nice trade there on AMD as well for anybody that hit that long, as there goes AMD to the upside. We're going to short it against 162. So right now we're short AMD against 162. Let's see where we can go on this one. But yeah, Tesla now $4 in the money. What's up to Max on the Lambo? We're feeling like that right now. Nice move upside back into day's high. All right, good enough for me. Let's clear that out. Neil, that is your hot dog trade of the day right there for Tesla. $4 right there off the bottom. Let's go. And then, by the way, we're also just cleaning up right now. Let's go AMD to the downside. It's another hot dog cannon happening right now for AMD. So let's see. Good trade there on Tesla. Palantir at day's high. Man, it's glad to be back.
It's always
cost me
good.
Too much money yesterday not being here.
It was one of those days yesterday, but I think the volatility is right back in here today. Maybe not as extreme, but it's only $9.50. So I got my scalp into AMD. I'm going to hold on to the last 10% myself. I want to see if it can put another high, break VWAP, and get to that key 163 resistance level. Not a guarantee that it's going to happen, but if it does, it does, and I want to be there for it.
$1.
So we like that 160. It comes all the way back in. It breaks 160, I'm out of it. An SSR bounce play for me, if it breaks the low, you've got to go. So we've already got our scalp trade in there. Oh, I'm just saying it's for real.
I like
it
that.
It breaks the low, you got to go.
Let's go.
But that's because it's down for a reason. It was down 10% yesterday. So I was sitting out in front of 35.50 on Intel. This is breaking highs when the market's at the lows. So I'm not just going to sit out in front of this level. To me, that's insane. It's clearly a pretty strong stock. You just saw what's happening in the other chip names. So it needs to be a failed breakout for me to short this. Otherwise, this could just be a breakout long. Intel 35.50 key level. I've canceled my offer. We'll just deal with AMD and whether or not it's worth a reload, bounce off the 160 and go to Adara.
Keep an eye on some of these cannabis-related stocks. I have CGC up here, Canopy Growth, MSOS as well, running some of these other names here. No specific news on this, but lots of social media attention for this group. We did also have that move up yesterday when President Biden tweeted in support of expunging records for those with possession, cannabis possession-related convictions. So good look here for CGC, up about 7% here with volume, guys.
Again, we won't do a roll call here, but I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that's out there. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's not that we're awesome, it's that you guys are awesome right there. BGC says thank you so much for those calls right there. And I can't repeat this. What's up, Chef Joe? Someone out here was trying to, there it is right there, Mo Fun. Sean, you are blah, 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 blah. So that's a good one right there. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we'll put Palantir in that mixer and mix it up. That was a good trade there for Palantir, as it looks like it just came back in, though. No, 43 cents. Okay. So nice move upside, did not come back in. Our net is screaming right now. And by the way, there it is right now. I know Neil was the other way. It's still not breaking through 160, so we'll see what happens. I just took a piece out there for $1.40 on AMD. And again, it was the big shares. Right, so big shares back there, the retracement back to VWAP. Have faith in your positions. That's what we're doing, and that's what that trade was. We're going to go 3 for 3. And Neil, they're all bang, 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 bangers today on what we've been doing, man. We just took $4 on Tesla. Palantir is going to be P&L number 2 now because AMD is P&L number 1 easy right now, and we just took that. So I feel very, very proud to be following my own rules. Patience. AMD now going to be the number 1 stock. And it was on my radar, and we waited for it. We're going to go 3 for 3 on the sticky note ideas there today. I'm sorry I didn't have an opportunity to get that sticky note out yesterday. But wow, today is a brand new day. And there goes AMD, now $1.40 in the money. I think Neil might hold this 160. So, there it goes. It's out. Now we're $2.
It breaks a low, you get out. That was the easiest
trade.
That was the easiest, I think, trade off of an SSR, round bottom or even level at 160 in terms of the way it kind of petered itself out. It got right to VWAP, which usually on a non-big cap tech name, I'd say get everything out in front of VWAP. But in this case, I held the last little bit. I did grab Intel. As the market broke that low, I grabbed Intel off that high. So 35.50, I wanted to see something of weakness. And once the market broke the low, I grabbed Intel here. If it breaks 35.50, it can be worthy of reload, but it's not a guarantee that I will. NVIDIA, it was the right call, I think, to have scalped aggressively out in the moment. That was the decision I made. So this will be, fortunately, a flat trade for me because it started to go against. Now NVIDIA is making higher lows and trying to break out itself. So you're seeing some strength over there in NVIDIA. CGC broke $8. I didn't have a stop order for the break. Looks like the break wasn't very good anyway, so that was a good thing. But now you're holding above $8. So CGC and that $8 level, I'm going to try to get in here. The focus was on the chips, so I didn't have a stop order to go long 8. I'll try to pick something up if I can get tight to the $8 even level. This is why, double top, breakout, you guys can see. Obviously, you're having a bit of a run here in CGC. But when you're trading, when you're over at AMD and NVIDIA, those are the stocks that you're on. I'm not going to have a stop order breaking out here on CGC. If I've missed a move, I've missed a move. I'll try to pick some up in front of 8 and put a stop down at that 790. If we get fill, we get fill. But I'm not going to chase. They've retraced this move every time it's broken out pretty rapidly. So you want to make sure you get something in that first quarter. So if I can't get a tight fill here, we might not end up with any of the weed names to the upside. And one last one, Mara. We do still want to play the same game over there in Mara, not on Blue Ocean. There we go. It's right down into that 25 level. So the plan of action, if it fails 25, holds anywhere above $24, comes back and regains the 25 level, I want to look for the long. That was the play in yesterday's trade. That's the play we're going to go with.
All right, I'm just right now I'm putting a tweet out thanking one of my good friends from the show, Brian Shannon. So bang, 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 bang. This is what we're doing, man. Every single day, we're making trades, and you got to make trades for reasons. We're out. So we now have 10% left of AMD. I have like 2% left of Palantir. We'll review all of this, but that retracement back to VWAP is like exactly the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. We talk about this all the time. If you're trading without a strategy, then your P&L will probably represent that, right? So you got to try to figure it out. As things start to work, you do it. I put on a big trade there for it. We're going to give ourselves about 50 cents worth of space. And now that I look back at the math, it completely works out right there, AMD. So good trade done. We still do have that 10% left of advanced micro devices. But it was, again, the largest position for me of the day was that. Well, actually, notionally wise, these were probably similar. The amount of shares we had, I mean, it's crazy how high Palantir's gone, up to $29. I mean, I wish we still had that. We would have been, remember I said like one day we should try to hold something that we actually do, and this would have been a good one, I guess, right there for Palantir, but there it goes. Huge move up. I mean, why not take something out or take it all out now at 29? Because often we look back and we're like, what? But that was a good trade there for AMD, so we will shout out Brian Shannon, post that on our sticky note. and then get it right out there, because that's what we wanted to do today, right? And I know that there's a lot of you saying in the chat, where do you find the sticky note? I need to get that. It's at Trader TV Sean, both on Twitter and on Instagram. Look, AMD short. We had it, man. Looking to rebound, short bounce. So it made it in the pre-market. Then it went down, and it was so red that we played the VWAP again to it. Palantir log, that was absolutely huge. And then Tesla long. So again, hard to pick exact prices, which is what I'm trying to get better at. Exactly. We nailed Palantir to the penny a couple days ago. But right now, today, play the weakness early on PLTR. And that's what putting out the sticky note and trusting in and making trades off of it and showing you guys the success. It's hard enough to go 3 for 3, it's not that it's rocket science. You can flip a coin 3 times. But at the same time, it's not easy to do, stay focused. And Neil said that about looking at the chip names and things like that. So if you're looking at the chip names today, they should be because it's 10 o'clock, there's been tons of moves, right? So your chip names should either be paying the bills today, or you've been risk managing and maybe you've lost on them, but you're still available to play the rest of the day. So when you're looking at stocks and your job as a trader, it's to make money at the end of the day. So you have to focus, stay where you are, stay in your pocket. And there it goes, Big Patty Ice over there, BPI, because there it goes, man. There's Palantir. What else are we supposed to do? If this guy's the Mara Whisperer, there's Palantir. Huge move to the upside right there. Let's go over to the desk. And again, thanks, guys. It's now breaking $29, PLTR. All right.
Just getting in, the CB leading index change month over month for the month of June. That's our only data print we're getting today at 10 a.m. Came in negative 0.2%, so slightly lower here than slightly higher than consensus and forecast of negative 0.3, and slightly lower than the previous number of positive 0.4. So CB leading index, again, slightly higher than expected here on the month over month basis. Also at 10 a.m., we have comments from Fed's Goolsbee set to begin. So I'll let you know if we hear anything coming out from Fed's Goolsbee later today as well. Some more Fed speak. Fed's Logan at 1:45, Fed's Daily after the close here at 6:05, and then Fed's Bowman at 7:45 p.m. So lots of Fed speak to digest throughout the session and also throughout the rest of the day here. SPY not reacting too much to that number. We got a little bit of a range still for the S&P 500, looking pretty similar to the NASDAQ as well, as both of these indices tried to recover from yesterday's big move to the downside. One name on watch here, Taiwan Semiconductor. This one sold off a bit yesterday, trying to hold on to positive territory here, up about 1 2/3% with its earnings beating across the board. Here's a good look for TSM. We also have here Beyond Meat on watch. This one trying to recover a little bit, still down though, about 10% here, after the Wall Street Journal reported that the company has been engaging with bondholders for some restructuring talks. They also do have a short float of about 36.8%, so one to watch out for, BYND. And also, we are brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Are you tired of being late to the trade? Always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial.
Thank you very much there, Dara. And as we said, reversal. Not every out is a reversal in the other direction. But in the case of Intel 3550, it was a reversal yesterday that I did not take. I got out of a long right here yesterday on Intel and did not reverse short. Obviously, that would have been the perfect time to do it. But at the same price, get out of a short, reverse into a long at 35. Now, it actually did a bit of it's kind of hard to see. It's like a dip and dive. So it got 52. And then it did a little bit of a dip. I was able to get 49s on the way back as well. So there's like 2 executions there. So I do have a 49 as the second execution because I'm out of the ones that were at 51. Now we're looking at the $36 level for Intel as you continue to rally. The market, however, is maybe retesting 20,000 sometime soon. So you are putting in a lower high and consolidating for a potential drop into the downside. That might bring me right back on over to the chip names, specifically NVIDIA. Like NVIDIA had the 120, it got to 119.5, and that was it on the secondary play. But now it can't seem to get through VWAP. So if there's going to be a VWAP fade in there, NVIDIA looks like the play. I know I had said SMCI in that breakdown. SMCI hasn't broken that $800 level, obviously, as you guys can see, but it's still trending into the downside. So SMCI, for the first time in a while, is actually on my radar. I don't think I've traded this in months. but that 800 break looks pretty juicy. We thought there'd be a chance we'd wait till Friday to make that push, but looks like we can get there today.
Wow, we are having a day. AMD, we just got out more right there at 160 again as it just came back in. Palantir, we got out. That's at $29. Tesla, we had that bottom and we got out right here. That just hit 252.75 again into that pre-market high again. So there are some levels here that are playing. Wow, Palantir is really, guys, like honestly, like bulls unite on this name. I mean, Palantir just upside and continues to go. Darn, man. That was a big one. We had a good position there for sure. Like I said, probably the two largest here today, Palantir. And the thing is, Tesla's pretty good too, but because it's a $250 name, so notionally probably could have been it. But I know for a fact, I had the most amount of shares notionally, like put the most amount of money into this AMD short right there. So that's, to me, it's going to be P&L number one. But Palantir and AMD are right beside each other. And then a third of that is Tesla. So we'll go 3 for 3. So big here, and then a third here. And that's because we lost right there. So we were long on Tesla. Then it was a good trade early, right? And then eventually it dropped, and we were flat after all of this, after about 9:43, so about 10 minutes in. Then when we dropped in, and then, I mean, we even said it, you know, that 47, 46 area was something that we really liked. So again, shout out to Sharif, where he's somewhere. And because we talked about yesterday's closing prices, right? And there it is right now. Let's go. Oh my, right now, as there goes AMD right back down. This is $1.50 in the money. Let's just continue to hold this one. As the NASDAQ is not doing much. It's the chip names right now that are falling all over themselves. So we could go back into...
Maybe not NVIDIA.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's go have a quick look at NVIDIA as that's starting to go up. So, man, did we ever nail the right one to short there today with AMD? But, yeah, NVIDIA, yeah, good call. That's right here, right now.
Relatively speaking.
If you...
It's still, it's still underneath the open price. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Relative to AMD, relative to SMCI, relative to...
Nailed that one.
I mean, ARM...
Wow.
If SMCI wasn't where it was, I'd be looking at potentially ARM. Actually, ARM's breaking VWAP, so throw that one out the window. ARM was pretty weak, looking like a 160 break. Let me get back to Rivian. Rivian back into VWAP. This is simple. This is VWAP. This is a wick into VWAP twice. So 1710, VWAP is 1716. It just failed at VWAP, so we shorted it back into 17 even, where there is an iceberg order. There's only a couple of thousand shares on this bid. But look at, for the last 20 minutes now, it has not broken 17 even on Rivian, which means take the half print if you can, which we just did, and then we got filled at 17 even as well. But iceberg order sitting at 17, there's not a lot of size there, but if it breaks through, I think you see that 1690 again. Intel is about to hunt for 36 even, so you got to be able to reverse. Intel was an L short and reversed into the long. Yesterday, like as I said, it's not that I refused to, I just didn't do it when it broke that support level. That was a huge mistake. So today, we take it. If it gets to 36, I'm looking for the fade. Probably not at 36, but that lower high at 36.30, like right in here from yesterday. That would be a place that I look for a little mean reversion possibility there on Intel. So if we fail here in front of 36, looking for the out. Yeah, there's a refresher at 90, so I'm just going to take it out at 90. Reverse 35.50 into 36 even. We got 90s out, and we'll just make back what we lost on the short, but that's something we didn't do yesterday. Like Intel, oddly enough, was actually a negative name. If I just do one reversal yesterday, that would have been the entire difference.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like being flat on a name or whatever, like especially when we're taking multiple shots. I mean, that is a good trade right there. We're going to wait to see what happens now on Meta. So I'm short Meta right now. We're short at 472 quarters, just up to the 50-period moving average. I was going to give this one to 473. I don't want to give this to the top wicks, to be honest with you. So if we can get anything down here at 470, let's just put a bid now at 471 and change. Let's see if it drops in right now for Meta. We'll try to make about $1 on this trade, trying to give it $1, right? And so I feel like that would be something there. Again, Meta's pretty strong, but it is hovering around. If the NASDAQ does turn on itself here, Meta should obviously follow course, as we've seen it'd be down to 470, 469. Its low right now is only 468. Here we go. Look at this, Neil. It's another dollar right there. Well, we didn't take it, so let's not hit it. But it just went to 471.20 right there. We're in 471 teens for Meta. So, yeah. Let's see what happens and go over to Adara.
Worth noting here, we are getting some comments from Fed's Goolsby coming in on the more dovish side, saying that, quote, we've had multiple months of better inflation data, and, quote, the inflation fight is not done, but I feel a lot better. Also, again, continuing to mention the labor market, which has been a continuing point here for these Fed speakers. So first Fed speaker of the day here, Fed's Goolsby, mentioning some confidence here with where we're seeing in inflation. Also, AAPL on watch here had this chart up, seeing some circulation here of this report from Reuters that Apple is in talks to license some more movies from Hollywood. So maybe some more movie opportunities here for AAPL. Got a nice little candle up on that news, guys.
License more movies. I got a good show that I'm watching on that. Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal is a pretty good show. But I'm glad we didn't just stand in front of VWAP on NVIDIA. As we said, it's starting to look relatively strong here. You're getting higher lows. Got to watch for a little something else in terms of an opportunity to get into that one. Maybe a press back into the high that can be faded. And then looks like that was the right call. That 36 level just pull back in on Intel. So we got 90s when there was a refresher. Pretty simple. If it bounces off that 35.50 area, that was a reversal spot before. That's where I'm going to look for the long. So the next play, looking for the pullback. If we bounce off 35.50, I want to see the buyers step up, and then we'll try to grab some shares back into Intel. 3.5% to the upside into it's not a flat market, but the market's only up 5 points over there on the NASDAQ. Rivian just lost that 17 order, so you're through that refresher at 17 even. Might make a fresh low there, but the next trade, I'm looking for a test of 35.50 on Intel. Want to be able to join any bounce that happens. Just got to stay patient. It's been trending up. Let's let it do its work. If it can do a bounce here, that's what we're going to have.
Yeah, we only have a really small position in AMD. So someone's asking, like, why am I still short? It's because I'm just wanting to see if it wants to go. It's not. We have less than 10% left of this trade, and we did get something there. It's not $1, but we got 50. So we got 75 cents right there on what's turned out to be my friend lately, Meta. Nice move to the downside there. So we did get some 50s right there, 53s to be exact, or 54s. So let's see if we pull back. We're still waiting for that 471.11s or so to see if we could make $1. Just the spread is so big on this that it just needs one little push down. So I'm trying to sit on the bid. So here it comes, just like that. It was at 90s, now it's at 60s. So again, if you're looking for some fire, I feel like we've got it right now. Fire in the booth with Meta. Let's go. We're at our highest spot. It's been at all day, and it's been a really, really great day trading right here. So, all right, there goes Meta downside. We can look at Root. Why not? Dominic, hey, what's up, Dominic? My guy from Wisconsin over here.
Insurance, baby.
That's from Wisconsin over here. Hey, trading fam. Good morning. Stay green. Hey, we're back in the building, Dominic. All right, so yeah, Sean and Neil, can we get a look at Root? Solid mover for a while. So, okay. Root, again, we'll look at the short float for that. It's going to be quite large.
I think Lemonade's a bigger short float.
This must have reverse split a couple times, obviously. Now that's at $8. I thought this name was a lot worse than this. But right now, Root, nice move up. I mean, unless it hasn't split. Again, wow, $45.
That hasn't split?
I don't know, all the way to 90. I don't see it. Here's the Root chart right here. So what a good move this has had. There's the low of $7, and there's the high. I don't see any split markers here, but there it goes, $8 back in December, all the way to 80. So 10x there on Root as it continues to go higher. So Dominic, I mean, you absolutely nailed this one. Yeah, huge move right at tops. I'd be selling. But again, without knowing this name took me by surprise. So this has doubled in about a month. So good job there looking at Root as that continues to go higher and higher. So Dominic, I would just say, looking at these levels, I mean, this is a pretty easy pattern here to talk about triple tops. So yeah, right there, good mover.
I'm shocked by that. I can't. Wow. Ring the register.
Yeah, ring the register on Meta also. Neil, that's another one. So we've taken $4 on Tesla. Right? We're taking $1 right now on Meta. Palantir, although we do not have it, it is now $1. Every trade we've had so far today is at least $1 in, and we've been the right way, and only on one trade. It's not like we've done anything, some complicated mathematics in here or not. this AMD short, you could still have it right now, and you're laughing at that trade. If you still have this Palantir trade right here, you're just like, Sean, you are such an idiot. And thank you, I would understand that, because look at this move now. That's $1 right there. We should be joining Max in this Lambo right there. Yo, pick me up, my guy. Right there, $29.40. So that's $1 in the money if you let that go. We just took $1.10. That was 11s. We told you where we were sitting. There's $1.10 on that one. And then Tesla, right now, we're glad to take $4 or $3.50. But look where Tesla is right now, $254 and change. Hey, today is a big day. So we come back and we put up the numbers again for you. Real Trading, our #1 sponsor. And I hope that what I'm showing you today is an example of that. So nice move to the upside there for Tesla, AMD, everything. It's a good day around here. That is for sure.
Yeah, the market's bouncing higher. Tesla's at the high of the day. Rivian is languishing in the depths of hell, down 2%. It looks like it's going to tag 1675 this quarter. If I don't get filled, I'm trailing this one. If it gets back to VWAP, I think we got to be really, really patient with it. It was a chase, to be honest with you. We didn't get any short. The pop there. We had to find the short. We liked the short. We had to find it underneath VWAP. So that trend is what we're playing. I'm now out of it. I didn't actually pick up Intel. I'll get to that in a quick second. But we just pressed the low there on Rivian. So we stay with that short for a couple of days. Intel doesn't quite pick me up on that last little bounce. So the key level, 35.50. We went short, reversed, into the long. It's making a higher low. Could be a 36 breakout, but we'll just play it by ear. You know, if it doesn't break the 36 level, there's still a chance that we go dip buy hunting in this name. But we missed it last time, so we'll let it get back into the bottom. When it hits the bid, hopefully we catch a bid and then we can continue trend up, but I'm not just going to sit out there in front of it. The market's making some lower highs in here. Just want to double check SMCI. SMCI still chilling out around VWAP. No double bottom break there at all for SMCI. And you mentioned, no, sorry, it wasn't you. It was up at the desk. It was Adara mentioning Apple. Apple bounced exactly off yesterday's low and has been all green since then. But you know what? VWAP, VWAP, VWAP. If you were watching Apple yesterday, then this is what happened every time it got to VWAP in the morning. It wasn't necessarily always home runs, but it was easy scalping off of VWAP after it did the same move. 231, 226 half into VWAP. That's what it did yesterday. If you just want to repeat yourself, then I'm perfectly fine with it. Apple gets to VWAP. I'm going to add this to the list to look for a short. It's pretty strong going into it, so you got to be patient.
AMD's $2 in the money. Meta's breaking lower. Meta probably goes $2 in the money soon as well. Wow, what a great day to be here trading again. Just feel really. Meta just went $2 in the money again. Let's just put a bid down there at 469. Wow, I don't know, Neil. Like now, every trade we've had today has been multiple dollars. These are the markets, man. These are the markets for day traders right now. And we've been saying that for a while. And we're just in earnings season. Like, please, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe. You know, like, again, I apologize. I wasn't even able to watch the show yesterday. I'm sure it was full of bangers. But that's back-to-back days. Today, the market's even been calm. Like, this makes me feel like, what did I even miss yesterday right there? So I don't know, but I just going to assume yesterday was like this and today is like this. So here it goes, man. We're going to wait for 469.70 right there. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, and just keep on going, man. Keep on going. You're with us now. We're going to be here as much as we can every single day. Of course, and then I'm forced to take holidays. So on those days, we'll be off. I'm going to London at the end of this month. That should be really nice. And then we do have a couple. I cut that vacay short to come back and coach, but we are going to take a few more days off. I think July 26th. I think we have a tournament there in Royal York. I'm taking that day off. But wow, what a good opportunity. Spend time with your loved ones. But if you're day trading, man, it's only like right now we've met our day goal. While. But the thing is like, it's only 10:15 now. This is part of it. We talked about the Freedom and Wealth podcast and things like that. These are the opportunities that day trading presents to you. Because right here, after 45 minutes of work, we'll go 4 for 4 today, which is, that's unique. But just after 45 minutes, it's beach time if you want. And that's kind of what trading allows for you. Some days, oppo, you know, it's like, oh my God, I got to grind and get this back. And you're here to the very last minute. I love sitting here and trading, obviously, as this job, as host, and showing you guys all this. I've been doing this for 22 years. And my best trading is, my best P&Ls were, I mean, I think I was telling some guys like this before. When crypto started going, that's when I was really putting up some huge months and stuff. But right now, getting better and better, just trading these big cap names and playing momentum. I mean, the fact that, you know, we're in some of these names every day just proves to me anyways that we've got the right feels, we're in the right space, and we're trading the right names. So yeah, stick with us. Hopefully you're having a good time and enjoying some of the trades. Well, Neil normally has trades that we normally always have on. So, and we're going to look for
usually.
That's what I mean.
No dip in Tesla.
I was just going to say, like, Neil's short or long this, and I'm long that, and I looked over. But yeah, we'll look. There goes Meta right here. We are going to get this bid, hopefully breaking through 469. There goes Meta. $2 on both these trades. Hands up. We'll wait to see what happens. Good day here.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, usually I'm in something right now, but we just got out of Rivian. We're looking for a bounce back into VWAP. We just got out of Intel, looking for a pullback. This will be a pullback, not a bounce, back into potentially VWAP or 3550. NVIDIA is not doing anything we like. The only place that I wanted to short Tesla was $258 like yesterday, and I'm not compromising on that. Tesla's up 2% into a flat market. It's like, if you want to short it, then it's got to be at the top. Like, that's where we had it yesterday. That's where it has to get back in there again. It's just all, be patient. I think one of the things that you learn in the market is it does, like, every single trade, there's a cost to it. And if you want to get a winner, then there's a cost of what if you get in and it breaks your stop, that's the amount that you're going to lose. And so if you get away from that, like, look at Tesla. If I just shorted Tesla way in front of the 258, this would be in the money. You short 55, great, you'd be in the money $2. But if I'm getting out at 258, then that's not a good trade, because then you're holding it $3 against you. So it would be a winner, but it actually wouldn't be good risk to reward. So not just any price, your plan. That's what matters here. Scotty H, I see you in there with that CeeLo, but I wanted to get to the super chat. Before we get to the small cap recap, I did want to address super chat. Happy Dingle Trader. Any thoughts on Netflix? They report after the bell. Stick around for the aftermarket show. We are going to have Netflix after the bell. It is not looking fantastic for Netflix. It's failing this 50-period moving average before the earnings. If it can hold above, maybe you can rally going into those earnings. But that 50-period sits right at about 651 or so. And I see like a failed break and then a wick underneath. I don't like it as a day trade because of the spread and the volume's not always good. But that's a failed breakout, and that's a 50-period. Key price is 651. It's almost like an over-under. If it can't hold above, the stock is weak to me. Let's get over to that small cap recap. We've got Adara at the big screen.
IWM up on the day right now, looking to continue its strength over the last few days, but it is worth noting we are having some lower highs here on this 3-minute chart, still struggling a little bit with this 224.40 level on IWM. So let's see if the Russell 2000 can continue its streak. SILO, probably the strongest runner here in the small cap world right now. We have about 72% to the upside, announcing with this company, Resica, that they're partnering on this intranasal PTSD treatment. So SILO here with a float of about 3.4 million shares to the upside. We also have Cassava Sciences, SAVA. This one near high of day, trying to recover after selling off yesterday, announcing after it's been mired with some investigations here that they're changing some of their executive leadership, including CEO. So SAVA trying to recover. That one does have a 27% short float. Last but not least is AGEN, Agenus, 11% short float. This one actually down here, but trying to recover, down about 50%. They did announce that the FDA discouraged an accelerated approval pathway for its study up for its colorectal cancer treatment. So AGEN to the downside. Short float worth mentioning there, guys, 11%.
So good look. And as mentioned, hey, we got a question about Silo. We get the small cap recap, and Adara goes right on over it. It's a tremendous amount of volume on Silo, holding into VWAP here, looking like it just wants to continue trend. This is not day one. This is like day 3 for SILO. And you got to zoom it way, way out here as it attempts the chart. Let's go. Okay, you don't want to do it. You go way out there to this $4 level. Now you can see it. That $4 level presenting some resistance, but if it breaks through here, you've got room to 6. So these things can go more than you think, but it is on a pullback. Lower high right now, needs to find some kind of a support, potentially maybe VWAP, that 360, but you've got to be very, very careful with names like this. As fast as they go up, they can drop just as quickly. I thought we'd get some kind of a chance at a reload in Rivian. Rivian now down 4% to the downside. Let's go to a higher time frame on this one. Like, where is it going to bounce or potential bounce? I shouldn't say where is it going to bounce. Support here is 1635. Rivian continuing to flush into the downside. That would be the level. Not saying it has to bounce, but if it's going to bounce somewhere, that would be it. Mara is now in the channel down, so it broke 25. My plan of action, if it loses 25, look for a potential bounce at 24. If it manages to not break 24, wait for the rebound. And if it gets back through 25 even, then we can have it there. All of a sudden, now you're starting to see what I wanted to see on NVIDIA, which is a little bit of a trend back in. So you fail a high and start making lower highs again. So a little bit strong on the way up, but now you're making some lower highs. Let's go to Adara. It's 121.5. If we never break through that, I'll look for a little bit of a fail here and a scalp back into VWAP. Adara, what do you have for us?
We have an IPO coming later today, Ardent Health, ARDT. This one's set to open on the NYSE sometime today. They're pricing 12 million shares, indicated at $15 to $16 per share. Worth noting as well here is actually below the initial price range they were looking for $20 to $22. Currently looking like we'll open at $16. 12 million shares here as part of this initial public offering for ARDT, guys. Keep alert.
Ardent, we'll have a look for that. Usually the play is I want big volume and then take the opening print. Not necessarily one that was on the radar for like, it's going to be so liquid, we're going to take the opening print and just go long. I think when you make that play, you want there to be a very, very big name. Oh my goodness, you're not getting a break. You're not getting that pullback on Intel. All right, Intel has gone the other way. It just broke 36 even here. We played 35.50 into 36, looking for a dip back into the 35.50. I said if we tested this high here, 36.30, that would be a spot to look for a mean reversion trade. So it's now getting there, 5% to the upside. The best you can do is be long strong stocks and then short weak stocks. So, when you see Rivian at the low, when I see Intel at the high, I don't mind that I took profit to get out. Again, that's going to be my trading style. Do your own thing. As long as you're green, you should be happy. But Intel, got to be able to find some way back into it if we can get one more dip on some higher lows. So this is one that we like, but I do not want to chase that top when it's close to a resistance level. Buying highs into resistance is not the way to go necessarily, but 5 points to the upside. If you just fight that one short, you're going to get yourself into a world of hurt. Never fight. It's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. That's one of my favorite lines out there because I don't think anybody wants to be that stubborn. You can average in all you want, but when it gets to your kill spot, get the you-know-what out of Dodge. That's the best advice you can usually have. Just double-checking SMCI. It's still failing underneath VWAP. It might not be only a breakdown of 800 that could be in play here. Triple bottom and a close at 816. And now all of a sudden you're seeing a little chop and churn at that 816 level here in front of VWAP. So I want to keep an open mind on SMCI and not only wait for a potential breakout. It's decent enough volume for SMCI. If it comes in here and fails this wick again, doesn't break VWAP or breaks it and fails back under, that can be a short. Because I just don't see right now NVIDIA setting up the way that I want, unfortunately for me. So Intel's the one on watch. Tesla's about to break, which means 258 can come into play. Wait for the key levels. We break here. This was my top trade yesterday, was short 258. If I lose on it today, fair enough. But I want a 258 short. I'm not shorting 55. I don't want to short 56. It's got to get up to 58 and test the top. Adrian, Apple's at VWAP now. But remember, the plan of action wasn't just to sit in front of VWAP. It's to see this. See it get to VWAP. I got the chart right here. See VWAP, see it hold underneath, and then take the shorts. That's what we talk about patience, right? Every trade has to set up for you. That's all that matters.
I have $4 in the money on 3 things here. I apologize, I was late there. I ran into the boss. I ran into Daniel, Mr. Daniel Schleffer there, getting another coffee there for Real Trading. And There's AMD right now. I know Neil is probably just killing it with you guys. AMD now $4 in the money. Meta, we took this trade live with you guys. I mean, not only did we take this trade live, I mean, we talked about why we liked it, what our risk tolerance was, man. Like, we were risking $1. It's now $3.
Another one.
You know, in the money there. So we had Palantir. I mean, we probably need to... What in the flying... What? Palantir right now, we went long at 28.20. This is at 29.80. And we had a position, boy. Oh well. Ah, well. At least we've got AMD on right now. I don't know, Neil. I apologize. I left you sort of hanging there for a couple minutes. We were just talking about it. There's going to be a big launch later in the year for real trading. And of course, Daniel seeing these trades and saying, wow, dude, what's going on over there? And I said, hey, I'm talking about real trading all the time. My guy, you don't worry about that. There it is right there. Props it up for Meta right here. Look, good thing we're making money. Look what I did to my shirt. I ripped it going through the door.
How the hell did you do that? I know. I think I have an idea.
Yeah, there was like a little spot there, and I was just like, and I was like, oh no.
No,
maybe I just rip it off here like Hulk Hogan style.
No, actually, I did that. I did the exact same thing recently. Actually, at home, there was like a hanging nail or whatever with my back door, and I'm using the crutches all awkwardly. I go to get out, and it gets caught. It is what it is, man. Or it's just like the Hulk arms, right? That's what you should have said. You was like, I was flexing.
Yeah, but it was near the elbow. I don't know. I maybe I just got in a fight with somebody. I don't know. It's like someone's jaw mark right there.
There's some stories you could pull out for that one. You could always, but you got to keep it real.
I told these guys I'm from the streets. You know some stories. I mean, maybe it's better we keep them here. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to tell that. Well,
yeah, no.
There was a flying elbow that one time.
There's a lot of things flying around. Neil, is it bad to short above VWAP? Yes.
Well, I mean,
in a trending market.
Yeah. I mean, in a general
short
sense.
Above? Yeah, no, I would say I don't like that.
Yeah, like in a general sense, if a stock is above VWAP, that would suggest that it's strong.
Yeah.
So it needs to be at a ridiculous level. Here's an example. I'll give you a quick example of that. Apple just bounced off VWAP to the downside, but an example would be Tesla. Tesla was above VWAP when it got to $248 yesterday, but that was a big level. So you wait for a monster level if you're shorting a strong stock. If you're shorting a weak stock when it's weak, then you want to short at V1. Like, I don't know. It's just trend down. It's just it's a level or a line in a chart that tends to get respected. It doesn't always get respected. It just tends to get respected. Like here, Apple goes into VWAP and starts flushing. Yesterday, Apple zoomed out too far. Yesterday, Apple went into VWAP and had slight resistance. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but I like to have it. If we get 227, I think Apple is a good long down here at 226. So I'm getting out at 227, and we'll go to, I think I just heard we're going to Adara.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not connected.
We are going to get to crypto, but a couple things to mention here. First of all, getting a bit of a move in some of these oil-related and gas-related names. We did get that EIA natural gas change BCF lower than expected. Also, keep an eye on SQ. This one had a positive analyst note from William Blair earlier today. And also now Bloomberg reporting that Block plans to shut down its Cash App platform in the UK, so this one could be on watch. In the world of crypto, interesting name to keep an eye on here. We have Bloomberg writing this report on the strength of XRP or Ripple. This is one that we do had that story in the past there with SEC suing Ripple for selling unregistered securities. But in the past week, XRP has been up almost 40% compared to about 12% move to the upside in BTC. So interesting, about 5x outperformance for XRP in the last week and could be one to keep an eye on, according to this Bloomberg report. In terms of Bitcoin itself here, trying to hold on to the 65,000 level, dipping a little bit below. We had a bit of a topping tail candle yesterday on the daily chart. Looks like you're trying to form a second one here. But right now, decently above this previous resistance area of 63 for BTC, so not a bad look for the cryptocurrency. Ethereum here, basically flat, just holding on to that 3,400 area. Bitcoin just above that 64, about 64.2 for BTC. And a bit mixed performance, but generally weak in a lot of these names. We've got BNB close to flat, down about 0.6%. Solana down about 0.5%. We have Ripple, though, down a little bit more significantly here, ironically after that report, down about 6%. So mixed picture here for crypto. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys.
All right, we just shout out to Lunas because we just put 5 on it right here on Meta. So we just put 5 on that short right now. We're $5 in the money on Meta. We're $4.50 in the money on AMD. But for those of you looking for longs, never fear. The alarm bells are here. We're long now, and it could be a problem. We're going to wait to see. We're long Amazon. We wrote down Amazon that we liked 186. Now, look, this is a play that we're not going to be in for very long. If this takes 185, we are well capable of losing $1 on this name, that is for sure, as it just continues to get hammered down in. But we're long right now at 80s, so we'll wait. We're out of the money 30 cents here. We did take that first 86 fill. Again, I'm not just going to sit here and be like, oh, man, we have all these Amazon nice trades off sticky note. I wrote down 186 long. Can we test around yesterday's low? It held. Can it do it again? It's not doing it again. It's broke. So yesterday's low rate here in Amazon has already broke. So this is a level that we wanted to trade against. Obviously, it came fast and furious right now. So if we lose this, and we might, we're only out 50 cents. I mean, if you're worried about this trade, you get out. Here it comes. Now it's really coming in. All of
the
our
NASDAQ lost 20K.
I was going to say, all of our shorts are really printing now, but we'll give some back, it looks like, here on Amazon, as it is breaking lower through 185. So, yeah, this was a level that we had talked about, and it looks like it's coming in right now, 184.98 or so. If we break below, I feel like we just need to get out of this one and be wrong on it, which is completely fine. We say that all the time. I mean, you know, you can take trades, and that's fine, but at the same time, you got to manage your risk. And we're trying to do that right now. Not going to hold this through. Whoa. The market is really tanking. Really, really tanking. Top Democrats in my ear believe that Biden's exit apparently is imminent. That's what's happening from Benzinga Pro.
I mean,
so again,
too convenient.
You know, yeah, I thought it was convenient that he got COVID. So, all right, nice move down right now on Amazon. Let's see what winds up happening here. Looks like it's going to break. So there it goes. We'll get stopped out of this. We should have never taken this one, but I didn't mind it. I'd look back and say, why didn't I take it if I didn't? So there it is. We will take a little piece out there at 20s as it just bumped up. You saw me take that. It was actually 18s. So we'll take a little piece out, but there it is. We saved a little bit of money there by getting some out, but we still lost it there on Amazon.
Yeah, so just very quickly, 20,000 on the NASDAQ, the level that held yesterday in the afternoon. You'll see me out of Apple. Yesterday, I went long Apple in the afternoon and got that break because we held 20,000. So when Apple got to the bottom and we were at 20,000 again, for a brief second, we ticked underneath 19,998 and came right back above. I'm like, oh, that's the same thing where Apple turned yesterday. So I covered here. So VWAP for the buck, 50 cents and then $1. But Apple continues. You're now 50 points below the 20,000 level. Apple's going to retest this double bottom in here. And I don't want to be catching a falling knife. So we're going to look for a potential bounce, see what we can get. But wow, that is a huge, huge reversal. There's not much that's still strong. Tesla's above VWAP. Intel's above VWAP. That could be temporary. But this is exactly the moment, almost exactly the same time, when Intel, this is 11 o'clock, but this is right now 10:35, where the market reversed. Intel was at 35.50. I went long and didn't reverse short. So I still like the potential bounce play here, but yesterday I was unwilling to short this immediately when it lost at 35.50. I think with the weakness in the market, I should probably change that tune. But it is still a bounce play long for me. So as long as there's a bid here that's starting to form, I want to try this. But if we lose it, I should be willing to reverse. I just didn't do that yesterday at 35.50. You saw what happened.
I think that's a good name to go long on.
Tesla's strong. Oh, wait a minute.
The strength.
Tesla's
right there. So we've learned a little bit of a lesson. We've now made back 30% of what we lost on Amazon just by going short now. But we still need to get more fills. It keeps on bouncing off 70 here. So we could lose more if it holds. But right now, Amazon does break that level of 185. That was sort of my stop zone there. We did lose. We did lose about less than $1. We lost 85 cents there, plus slippage, probably $1 actually, as we go. But here we come, Amazon trying to push lower. We're short here at 97s. I'm going to put another bid at 71 or so and cancel my 50 just because it keeps on bouncing. I don't, we don't like to see this. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Huge volume candle that obviously got a lot of people out there at 185. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do get a bounce back up, but I'm looking at 185.50 to stop out of this short. And like I said, we got out of half of it already, but yeah, we're not going to put good money after bad, or yeah, good money now after a bad trade already there with Amazon. So we'll give this a little bit of love, and if it throws us around, it throws us around. We should have got out when it broke 186, which was the level here. So now we're kind of like piling on a little bit to this problem. All right, AMD. I don't know where we're going to stop, man. We're $5 in the money on AMD. But if I'm looking here at this level right there, 155, I mean, we've held this level a couple times. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do it again. It's really 153.20 or so on that one. So could we get into that level? Probably. But there it is, man. We're even going lower right now on the name. So, man, that's 156.50. Yeah, AMD is sick today. So we already saw it down 10% yesterday. I don't think we're going to get that kind of a movement today as the NASDAQ turns red. But yeah, Neil just mentioned 20,000. Maybe that's your stock.
I'm willing to bet. Well, okay, I shouldn't say I'm willing to bet. I think it's highly probable that a stock of AMD's market cap has never had 2 consecutive 10% down days, unless it was like the financial crisis or something. But even then, I'm very skeptical that that would ever be the case.
Yeah.
But until something happens for the first time, it's never happened. So,
yeah, I know. I think that probably has happened before. Probably, I would think probably.
But if it was 08.
Tesla. No. I'm even thinking recently Meta too.
Oh,
right? Like Meta
okay, fine. You know what?
It's just because of the price of these stocks. Are so
yeah, you got to think about it. It's like Tesla might have done it. But at the end of the day,
it's still a huge move.
Until the fact that something hasn't happened or is unlikely to happen just means that if it does happen, it's shocking a few more people and your opportunity is even greater. I saw someone in the chat say sometimes catching a falling knife yields the best profits. That's why traders do it if you can find a good one. But it also means that you need to get out if it breaks. Like the market's tanking, the market's breaking down pretty heavily. Yesterday, this same move, when 35.50 reversed, this went 3% further on Intel. 3% down when it reversed after being another 3% up. So I acknowledge if we can bounce here and you can go 1.5% easy on Intel, but it can come the other way. If we lose VWAP, you got to get the you-know-what out of Dodge. Let's go to Sector Watch with, is it Sector Watch? With Adara. Isn't that usually at the screen?
Do you have some news here on that drop? Again, this is, to clarify, this is very unconfirmed, but there are some speculation circulating of unconfirmed reports that Japanese government officials are warning that China is preparing to launch an invasion of Taiwan. So again, unconfirmed, but lots of circulation of this report that the Japanese government officials warning of a prepared launch of an invasion of Taiwan by China. So again, unconfirmed, but potential launch here of an invasion into Taiwan by China. In terms of the sector watch here, we do have those moves down in both the NQ and the ES. NQ a little bit weaker. You can kind of see that reflected in some of these tech names. Technology services, we have Microsoft, Google, Adobe all red. Meta actually up on the day, recovering from the move down yesterday. Electronic technology also a little bit more mixed, but it's worth noting as well in the technology services sector. Some of these security-related names, we did have some downgrades from Redbird Atlantic hitting CRWD, so one to keep an eye on. Finance pretty strong here as the banks kind of wrap up their earnings there. Pretty green across the board. Consumer non-durables strong. Consumer durables also strong. Energy, minerals, producer manufacturing here. A little bit more weak to flat in retail trade, utilities, process industries, communications, distribution. So very much a mixed picture as we get these moves down continuing in both the indices, guys.
We're at, you might hear me say, yes, sir, yes, sir. We got Amazon right now back in the money, 40 cents. We just, again, patience, right? We actually wrote this down here today. I heard Neil mention that when I got back from the reload there. Look, we wrote this down today. It was pretty easy to know that today was going to be a day that there was going to be some opportunities. Not patient, as in be a patient, but have patience. So patience, I should say, not patient. Right there, but patience today. Be patient.
Yeah.
Be patient.
What's wrong? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, sometimes nothing's wrong with it.
Oh, I was gonna say it's
because I was just more saying you could be a patient or be patient.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that pitcher thing. Like you having a pitcher of water or are you a pitcher? Felt the same way there, but the pitcher.
I literally
on the
drink
wall.
every time someone says water.
Like what is on the
no.
wall right now? But look what's happening to AMD. I don't know if this is TSM related there, as Adair just brought us that story. But guess what, Sharif, Professor? We're $6 now on AMD. That's it, yeah, man. And the Nasdaq's just getting going now. $5 in the money on Meta, almost $1 in the money on Amazon, $6 in the money on AMD. And I just want to let you guys know something. My stop for AMD was 50 cents. So this right now is 12-1 risk to reward right now on AMD if you take it here. So nice move to the downside right now for AMD. I thought that the bottom would be somewhere, but I'm not willing to call it yet. Like somewhere around here is what I'm saying. Obviously, it's going to be somewhere. It's going to have to stop at some point, right? But what about 153.30 30s, something like that. That could be a good little spot right there. But here we go. Let's get another piece out here on Amazon as we're getting low. There it is. Yes, sir. And by the way, it's almost another $1 on the reload there of Amazon. So we just believed in the short. We took the long and lost on it. There's no doubt about that. But if we exit our trades now, we're pretty much at the highs. Why not get out at 466? That's a couple times now in a row that we've seen Meta stop here at 466. I'm going to put a bid down there, try to end this trade. But these have been big ones. You can see what we have on the board right now. AMD short, Meta short, Amazon short. Put your damn money where your mouth is. And I feel like we've done that today. Just loading up the shorts. Neil, the only long we had was Palantir, which was $1.50 in the money. We were lucky enough to take $3 on Tesla.
Was there a bull next to me?
I don't know, but look where that one went. Upside right there, 255. I turned the bear into a bull earlier, so that was me. But right there, 255, nice high. Maybe we're getting low again here on Tesla, but wow. We'll have to catch our breath here. It's only 10:44, man. We're in pretty good moods now as Meta going lower. AMD, $6 in the money. Diddy, sorry, that was Diddy there on the Chinese exchange. Amazon now trying to go lower. We just took a piece out on Amazon right there at 184.50. So good level there. Maybe we're starting to regroup a little bit. Meta trying to find a base. 467. We got to put a bid at 467.
Well, I said if the market was tanking, I said if Intel lost that support, we'd get out. Intel immediately ripped after that. So it broke that 35.5 and now immediately ripping. It still looks like it's going to be a decent long in here. So we might have to just go right back to the well. Now, we had that long, we scalped some out, we ended up losing on it after all on the reload, but it's still looking relatively strong. I didn't get SMCI 800. I don't know if anybody got that break. You let me know in the chat. Did anybody actually get a fail on an 800 break of SMCI? It did immediately tank $5. Half of that was literally the bid, the spread opening up. So it was like the spread opened up, but the first actual bids were like 98, it looked like. But SMCI, if you're wondering why it looks kind of bad, this is a big trend that it's breaking in here. I'm not saying it's going to get all the way down to previous lows, 666. I actually think it's going to catch a bid somewhere because it's going to the NASDAQ 100 tomorrow. So there's probably buyers somewhere in here. But it broke that 800. Good for anyone if they happen to have it. We've got to get on to what is the next. Rivian is starting to bounce. We've traded VWAP twice on Rivian. We're going to look for it a third time in here at about 1680 or so. That's where VWAP sits. Obviously, it's a moving target. As the stock trends down, VWAP goes a little bit lower. Right now, it's 80 to 85. That would be the target entry for this name. And rightfully, Julia, Mara is at 24. We talk about being patient. This is now Mara bouncing at that 24 level. This is where I wanted it to see if it could bounce. We never got through 65,000, so makes some sense that you had a bit of a push to the downside here. But this is that next even dollar level. If it can hold this low just underneath, it's about 90 at the bottom. If it can hold that low and get back above 24, that would be a failed breakdown. But I'm not taking it as it's falling down in. I want to see it hold the low and then grab the bid on the way back into the upside. So Rivian looking at VWAP short. If we get fortunate, maybe we get another crack at Intel in there. And Mara is trying to hold the bottom at 24 even. I don't want to fight it when it's weak underneath. It has to hold this bid, which you're seeing. It's not even happening right now. So nasty, nasty, nasty there on Mara. And crypto, well, not crypto in general, just Mara and the miners.
Guys, just with the positions that we're holding right now, would be just in the unrealized profits would be already a good day, but we've already taken a lot out. Like Amazon right here is falling like crazy. We're short now. This is now $1 in the money short. So again, something that's changed for me, and I'm going to keep talking about it because it's made such a big difference for me, is that stop being stubborn with things. And like we were long there, and then look, as soon as we got stopped out, what did we do? We shorted, and we turn our frown upside down, and now we have a monster winner for Amazon. And it's just because, again, being patient, right? Making sure that our levels hit, and if they do, we get out, and then we reassess. That short looked pretty good. We just had a bid down there at 20. It's at 14, 184.14. So we just missed that bid down there at 184. So let's make sure we get some. There it is. Let's make sure we get something out. There's your dollar right there. So right here, what we're holding over here is AMD, $6 in the money. Amazon, $1 in the money. Meta, 3. But the thing about Meta is, I'm still bidding here. I'd like to get this bid. I'm probably going to turn stubborn with this. I've seen Meta really fall before, obviously, where we've taken, I was saying that before, $19, and then all of a sudden, that was when we shorted 535s, and we got out at 413 or 513, something like that. And then all of a sudden, it dropped below that 500 marker. So, yeah, man, if Meta starts feeling ways, this should be $5 or $6. AMD is, and a good thing for this, AMD is not stopping right now. So this was, again, a big trade here. Go find it at Trader TV, Sean. The sticky note right now, so far so good. Trying to go downside with AMD. I had a stop right here at 156.20s. So if we go back up about $1, we'll retrace $1 and we'll get stopped out because, as many of you know, you can easily. President Biden is not wavering. So he's going to stay there. Here we go. Nice.
The opposite of what they just.
Well, that's a report. I don't know anymore about anything. All right, so watch out for AMD trying to get back up to the upside. We did talk about where our stop is. We will take it out. It's 10:50. It's time to find out what's for. All right. Yesterday for lunch, I don't know. It was chicken, wasn't it? I think it was. I saw it. Oh, it was hamburgers.
It was hamburgers.
It was cheeseburgers.
We didn't actually get the menu till like.
Right. I saw that pop in.
Yeah, we didn't.
Cheeseburgers with fries.
It was cheeseburgers.
It was good. Oh, very good. Homemade burgers or? No one. Okay. All right. So, anyways, end of the day. Today's chicken dinner winners are brought to you by Chicken Katsu Kebabs. So those are pretty good. I like those. That's like a Japanese style. Sometimes we get that chicken katsu with our sushi. So that's a good one. And by the way, there we go. We'll fire it. We'll fire it off right here with the hot dog cannons as we get out of AMD for 550 right there as it retraces back up, man. We'll get out of that one over and over again. We did get that Amazon fill down there. So that was a good one at 184.30. So that was a good trade. Meta may or may not come in. Chicken katsu kebab with basmati rice, peas and corn. That's what's for lunch. And what's on the desk, we're about to find out with Adara.
Yeah, I don't think that story is real.
Update here as well before we get to Money Talks. PENN stock, not doing too much on this, but CNBC reporting that they're going to lay off about 100 employees. They do have a short float of about 16%. Penn Entertainment, PENN. In terms of the dollar here, we're coming back into that area of support and resistance that we just broke back below. It's going to be that 104.10 area. Right now at 103.97. So a bit of an interesting area for the DXY here on the daily chart as it tries to climb back up while we have the market heading to the downside as a whole. We did get initial jobless claims higher than expected here. 243,000 versus 229,000 estimated and 223,000 prior. We also got the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index for July coming in similarly higher than expected, 13.9 compared to the estimate of 2.7. Some dovish comments here coming from Fed's Goolsbee as well. Our first of 4 Fed speakers today. Fed's Goolsbee saying that there have been multiple months of better inflation data. The fight isn't over, but he feels, quote, a lot better. So Fed's Goolsbee making some dovish comments. We do still have a couple more Feds to wait for. Fed's Logan coming through at 145. Then after the markets close, we get Fed's Daily at 6:05 and at 7:45 we will get Fed's Bowman. Some more Fed speakers tomorrow as well. Fed's Williams and Fed's Bostic during the session. So should be a lot of excitement with Fed, though we don't have any major economic data coming out tomorrow, guys.
I meant to get long Intel. Damn it.
Getting wicked out of Intel is going to be frustrating. But so it turns out like that Taiwan thing, there's only one source reporting that. So maybe just let's temper our expectations on how much that could be happening. So back into VWAP. Whoops, I zoomed the wrong way. Back into VWAP is Rivian. Got some on the way up, which is the wrong way to go. And going to add on the way back down. But this could be breaking out that top. And if it breaks out the top, either wait for the price that we had this morning, that's 1750. 15, it's not 50, 1715. 1750 was the open. We didn't get it. Or,
oh no,
we just have it back underneath. I'm willing to stop out and get back in at VWAP there. But Rivian's starting to show some strength. Intel, I got to show it to you. It was a good reverse the first time. The second time, I got out. You saw it. All that Taiwan stuff was happening. It broke that support and then immediately runs right back into 36 even. So Intel looking pretty strong. I'm going to sneeze in a second. But we're in Rivian. It was Mara. So that bid on Mara, it doesn't come in right away. But now you've got consecutive green candles. It's back above the 24. So if you're going to be patient, this is what it kind of looks like. If I just sit out in front of that bid, see my keyboard's sticking a lot. I have to clean my keyboard. No, but if I just sit on that bid, it goes all the way down to 23.70. Now we're trying to grab it on some strength back up. VWAP is $1 away on Mara, so even a halfway retrace would look pretty solid. So I want to get this out in front of now 23.90. I want to get something in front of 24 even here and play at 23.90 on a potential rebound there. And not just the market, but in this crypto name. Bitcoin's not really doing much. It's just Mara and the miners having a rough time. Well, at least this miner.
So I put, yeah. Okay, well, it's going to show that we're $1 in the money now on Meta, but we're really 6. Again, keystroke error. I punched out there and I just punched straight back in. I was putting another stop because VWAP has changed, obviously, as it's come down since we've taken this trade. So I was reassessing risk and I put, instead of punching out at 472, I put 462. Like, so stupid because I've been typing in 60s and unfortunately I did that. So whatever. I'll slap a fail on getting out of it, but whatever. We got right back in at literally the same price. So pretty happy with that one as it goes. Now, we just got stopped out of the last piece of Amazon for flat because we only had 15% left. We got a bunch of outs on the way down. That out was so key, man. The fact that we got that live with you guys, right there, 184.30. I mean, it just ripped up. I do want to short this again, but I'm going to wait for VWAP. We talked about a VWAP retracement. Amazon's just a funny stock. I know I want to be short this name, but it's like, at what level? You know, like I thought right here was pretty good. Now it's just come back up. We just got stopped out. This could still be a good short. Meta right now, by the way, and I'm so glad that we got back in. Again, have that confidence. We talk about that with the Dara and everything. It's like, have that confidence to get back in. That's a keystroke error. And I just punched out. I punched straight back in because it didn't break my theories, which was going short on Meta. And it didn't break VWAP, but that's why I'm in and out of that name. Got a little scared about it, so I was altering my stop so I could definitely make sure we gathered profit on that last quarter, and we wind up punching out. So we got back in, still $1 in the money, and we'll still wait for a 467 take here on Meta. Hopefully that can come in. And again, it's about time of day, right? We've done the damage already here. Meta's already been taken sort of through. Now, let's see if it can hold or break. So I'm going to get this piece out. If it breaks, we'll get out at 460. I just put a bid now at 467. So if we can come back into the low, we will try to test it and get out right here at 467 for Meta, if that does come. Look, it's $1.20 in the money. You know, some traders would take this, and again, depending on your risk tolerance. So just be careful with it. I'm going to average in all the way back up. The futures, Neil, just turned positive. So that was a good little take.
And you know what? Rotation again. The NASDAQ bounced. The Russell lost VWAP. IWM it was racing when the market was weak, but look at the reversal here. So anybody out there trading the small cap index, I know actually Adara has been trading IWM. Nice. Just sort of note that. If we lose 20,000, here you go. I'm talking about these two things relative to each other. I can show you both charts at the same time. As we're bouncing here, off the bottom here, if we lose that 20,000, I don't wonder if you can regain the trend back into the upside. Because technically speaking, IWM is still up. You're actually both flat on the day, so I don't wonder if you're going to see any kind of divergence between the two. That said, you got to move on to the next. Intel is like this moving target that VWAP has now become. Great, I hit enter too fast, and IWM's on the Amex, and Intel's not, so there you go. The moving target that was 35.50 also happens to be VWAP. Got to start to look somewhere else for this trend back into the upside. So maybe it holds this 36 area, breaks out the top, but there's clear relative strength here in Intel that I want to be able to respect. So if we can get something, we're going to take it. I'm just going to check back in. There's only 3 minutes to go. I'm not even in position. I'm going to check back in on SMCI, right back at 800. When it breaks an even dollar level, the spread was like $2. So this gets to VWAP. Like it can get in here, break VWAP, and it almost has to go past like 15s or 16s for an out. But if it cannot hold 800, I think this could completely flush. I just don't want to be short things if we're going to be breaking out 20,000 again. Like if we hold 20,000 on the bid, I don't know that I want to be short. So this battle that's happening here, I want it to resolve underneath, and then I look for shorts. The curl, well, not in Intel anyways. If the curl happens on NVIDIA, VWAP on NVIDIA sets up, Apple is right on my watch for VWAP again. That's at $228 or so. Or you know what? If 20,000 fails, we might just take it where it lies because you've got this bottom here. Earlier bottom range was 226.5. Not a bad spot. So that's where the eyeballs are. NVIDIA 120, Apple VWAP if we can even get it. Intel I'd rather be dip buying. Intel's a long for me until it's underneath 35.50. I'm just going to keep that there. Line in the sand. If Intel's under 35.50, I can start looking for some shorts. Otherwise, I'm buying dips.
All right, yeah, I like that. I like that kind of talk right here with only a couple more minutes to go. I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you do hit that like and that subscribe. There you go. Okay, he's got it. I was going to say, a lot of the buttons that I have over here are a little old, so we will probably film some more things as well.
Yeah, mine mess up every time.
Is like
no, if
3 years old.
If I hit Sharif's, so it's chopping and freezing and.
All right, it's one of those edited ones. I got it.
Yeah, it's a problem.
All right, so yeah, look, good calls on Amazon. I really feel like the time to be short Amazon was probably weeks ago when we were talking about it up here last week, up here at 200. I'm gonna have to let this one go all the way up and see if we could do something. I'm just gonna review some of the trades that I'd be looking for now. Obviously, Palantir made this happen. I wasn't even looking at that. I don't know, buying the VWAP there, I probably would have lost because it did wind up breaking 29, so I might have been afraid that we were starting to head back to the downside. Again, when a move happens like this, counter the market. Palantir up 5%. On a downgrade, Palantir takes out 52-week highs. What a great name this has been. I'm glad that we've been able to hopefully get some of you, or at least I've been able to get some of you into this name, Palantir. We've really liked it for quite a long time now, and it's starting to pay off finally. Not finally, it's been a good one the whole time. But it did give us a scare because it went back below the direct listed price that we were in. Palantir went below 920 at one point where we bought more, but that was nervous hands right there. Meta, so again, $6 in the money on Meta, but now we're back in the money, $2 on a reloaded position. So I don't know, Randy, there's only a minute left or less than that. Tesla, we got hit early, my guy, and then we bought these 247s. And then we took it out there for 350. Then it went to 255, but still positive against the red market. So right now, Tesla relatively strong. But guess what? If you like dollar winners, 1 and 2 right there on a reloaded position for Meta. Without any further ado, maybe Randy will make an appearance on the midday show. You never know.
You never know.
But Neil and I will definitely be back at 2 o'clock. So we will see you then. Thank you so much. Good day, Neil. Thank you so much for watching.
Mr. Clean, I just realized you got the white tee.
And the white tee.
Yeah.
I was going to say you got the fresh dew the other day. Oh, you want a hot dog cannon? All right, let's do a hot dog cannon. One more thing before we go as well. Let's get that cow popping off there, Randy. There it goes. A nice little day today. As they bringing that money through, man, we got to pay some bills. And today we are doing that. All right.
Get it the last time you said that,
Here we go.
No, Friday. We're supposed to get it on Friday, brisket.
What day is it? Oh, it's Thursday already?
Yes.
All right, let's go over to the midday show. It's 11:01. We don't want to run out of time with the best talent at Trader TV Live. It's the professor. It's Miss LePage.
Big Patty Ice, too.
It's Big Patty Ice. It's Big Randy. It's everybody. It's Trader TV Live, more importantly. Let's go.
Let's go.
Easy day.
That was one hell of an introduction.